What are we talking about?
Welcome to Gamesthetic.
I know the lead off at least one topic.
Welcome to Gamesthetic. What a kickoff to the show. Love that. Zach, buddy, how you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome to Gamesthetic 216. I'm Alex Slatt with Sparky3, back after a 1 week unexpected break. Had something pop up, but we're here to hopefully have a good time. John, how are you?
Oh, I wouldn't expect you to come. I'm fine. Do you normally go that way first?
Well, I just went to
he
him.
did go
yeah, I
me.
did go to him.
I was not paying attention, apparently.
Because I completely threw it off.
Which I'm here for, man. Throw it off every once in a while. Let's throw a curveball.
I was just
We'll bounce
looking at
back.
the blink monitor over here and wasn't paying attention.
I just waited for the time cue, and I was like, all right, well,
You were ready, dude. You had that loaded, ready to go. What are we talking about today? Now, that's a good question, Zach. Gonna be touching on some Doom: The Dark Ages. I did play a little bit of that. Some more Expedition, because John and I have finished it, so we'll give like final closing thoughts.
Are you done with it, hands off?
I'm on my second playthrough.
Oh, you're jumping right into it.
Yeah, I jumped straight.
but he's
into
playing
second.
on a different console.
Yeah,
now.
I'm playing on PlayStation now. I didn't want to do New Game Plus. I jumped straight into a fresh new playthrough on PS5.
Did you do a harder difficulty?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, having a good time, having fun. Let's see, got the marathon thing. This is crazy. This is a wild situation happening with Marathon and Bungie. That's something to talk about, as well as just some more stuff with Sony. The 100 line Last Defense Academy. Me and John are excited to hear Zach talk about this one because this game looks cool.
It's probably going to be a fairly brief discussion, but
we want to know.
it's
We
like
need thoughts.
we want to know what's going on.
I
Yeah.
mean, we can make it like 20, 30 minutes easy.
We
2030. Okay.
We could stretch anything.
Yeah, that's
he played
true.
it. He played it for longer than all of the Wukong stuff, and we talked about that for hours.
Right, facts. So lots of different possibilities. Then we'll just touch on some other stuff that took place in the weekly wrap up, and of course have Gamestetic Game of the Week. If you could though, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. Make sure to check out all the stuff down in the description below. Check out Agent Inc., Sparky Shop, Rogue Energy. Join the Discord. All right, let me turn the volume on the intro video all the way down. Boys, anything we want to get off our chests before we get into stuff? Shout out to the Patreon as well. Anything we want to get off our chest? Anything we want to throw out?
I don't know. I'm looking to see what you should have in the script because that was
That's
the whole
That's
reason
fair.
why I started, because I was like, I haven't looked at Discord.
That's fair. Hey, I can throw one thing out. It's non-video game related, but it's referencing another show. Shout out to Terrible Wrestling Show. I want to throw this out because I thought this was really cool. So I got to talk to our good Orlando buddy yesterday, and he was telling me some stuff about HHN, which is Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. And I've been personally seeing this rumor for a while too, and he was telling me that he's been hearing a lot of rumblings from people he know. There's a legit possibility WWE is going to have a haunted house at HHN this year, and I think that's actually really
I was trying
cool.
to figure out how we were connected back to.
Yeah, no, because like
Interesting.
I was talking to him about it. I was thinking about it more and more. I was like, dude, straight up, WWE could cook with this. Because like if they break it up into different portions where it's like you have like a boogeyman part that's like, you know, bug coated or whatever, worm coated, whatever. You can have a fiery hell part for Kane. You can have the Firefly fun house, you know, of course, if, you know, Wyndham's family allows, I'm sure they would. Then the Firefly Funhouse immediately transition into something dark and sinister with the Fiend, and then have like Dark Ministry, Undertaker stuff. They could actually cook with this house. I'm gonna be honest. So I wanted to shout that out because it seems pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited for the possibility of the current code name for it that's been floating around for a little while is like the House of Horror, Horror's House of WWE or something like that is the code name that's been floating around. So.
Okay. So, I mean, if this actually gets announced, does that mean we're going to be taking a couple weeks off in October?
I'm already taking a couple weeks off in October. So, yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
That is the honeymoon. So, that is the plan. So, it is going to be pretty sick, man. Hopefully, that is going to be a thing. But, yeah, that's one thing I want to shout out. You guys got anything? Shout out to Raven in the chat. Raven, how are you?
Just weird cube race betting and Wuthering Waves.
Oh, okay.
It is as weird as it sounds.
Okay.
Everyone's been turned into cubes, and the player base can bet on who's going to win the races.
Nice.
There's a race every night at 8 p.m.
Are you part of every race?
I'm part of the betting.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, that's what I meant is the betting. Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, let me get my bets in, baby. Let's go.
It's a weird anniversary event, but hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm down for some betting. What about you, John? You got anything you want to shout out in the universe?
Not right now.
Okay. Before we jump into quick question, whose week is it for Gamestetic? Is it yours or mine? Who's it? I have no idea. For Gamestetic Game of the Week, I have no idea. Whose is it?
I thought it was his.
It is mine.
Okay. I just want to make sure if I need to prepare something. I had no idea.
There was a very stark, as soon as you asked that, I was like, can I convince him it's his week? He's got to think. I was like, can we put him on the spot?
I mean, you might have convinced me.
I just knew it wasn't mine.
You might have been able to convince me because what did I even do last week?
We weren't here last week.
Or the week before?
I don't know.
See, I don't know either. I don't remember. See, yeah, you totally could have got me. It was Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you could have got me 100%. You could have got me. Anyway, let's jump into stuff. So like I said, we will be talking about Doom, the marathon stuff, some other things, the PlayStation, the 100 line, Last Defense Academy. But let's kick things off with Expedition 33 because John and I have at least finished the game. I'm currently working on my second playthrough. I'm in Act 2 at the moment, having a great time with that. But John, what are your like final thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm not doing a second playthrough immediately. I'm probably gonna do one later in the year.
Fair.
Just because I want to separate myself from it a little bit.
That's fair.
And not go back in and end up doing a lot of the same stuff.
That's fair.
Because when I go back into it, because there were two characters that I basically did not touch at all, except for a few points I was required to play with all 5 characters.
Mm-hmm.
So on my next playthrough, I'm gonna try to make them my focus.
Cielo and Monoko?
Yeah, it's like they're gonna try end up being the focus of my next playthrough. I just want to separate some time so I don't go in and end up doing a lot of the same stuff.
That's fair.
But no, I mean, when we initially talked about it, I was kind of saying like, game feels like a 9 or so, has potential to be a 10 for me. I mean, game by the time I finish the game, it's 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece.
100%.
Game is amazing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed pretty much every minute that I was in the game.
100%.
And I purposely didn't try to go for the 100% to leave plenty of stuff for me to be able to experience for the first time on my next playthrough, besides just the 2 characters and their related, what I would refer to as like collectible achievements or trophies or stuff, which is basically just anything that was tied to a specific character.
Gotcha.
I purposely left some of that stuff. I didn't do all the collecting and everything. Left a few bosses along the way, so I have some new stuff to do. But yeah, the game was incredible. I mean, it was the most anticipated game of the year for me, and which in the past few years hasn't boded well for the game that I picked. But you know what? This year
feels good.
It feels really good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very hard to top it for me this year.
I agree. I cannot see a game beating this out to be my favorite game of the year because like the more that I've said on it and the more that I've gone and like, watched videos, everything that I experience and now replaying it and stuff. I was talking to Josh about it and I want to do it. I want to do another playthrough of this other game here in the near future so I can really have fresh opinions. I think this game for me beat out Red Dead 2 is my second favorite game ever. Like I love the way this game ended. Everything with Act 3, loved it. Loved every second of it. It was amazing. It was epic. It was emotional. It tied, there were so many different themes. Like the themes of each act, the themes of each point of the game is incredible, especially with how everything kind of comes back full circle. Where, when we talked about the prologue, like the way I described it was like marching towards your death. So like the theme being acceptance, right?
Yeah.
That's the theme of the prologue. For everything to kind of come back full circle where the Act 3 theme is like about acceptance, in my opinion. And I don't think that's a spoiler to say because there's no context for why I'm saying there's acceptance. I think the writing, everything around it is just masterful. I really do. I absolutely love this game. Absolute masterpiece. One of my favorite games ever.
Yeah. Well, the last time we had a show, I was talking about it, and I was like, because I was about halfway through the game, probably at that point.
Yeah.
And the other game, it's like the other game that I was playing was First Berserker Kazan, which for me is also pretty much a 10 out of 10 of the game.
Yeah.
And I was like, it depends on how the games go. I don't think there's any way that Kazan can overtake that for me.
Mhm.
It's not. Expedition ended up being in its own league.
Yeah.
for me this year. We'll see how the year goes, but yeah, no, it's gonna be very hard to top this game
Yeah,
for me.
Expedition is insanely well polished and put together game, and just overall acceptance of gameplay, art design, music design,
Yeah.
um, actual different ways they've written everything together, character connections, um, getting to points where the players themselves are invested at just about every single point in the game.
Right.
Um, just overall map design is good, and I mean, it's a decent sized map, but with each of the traversal things, it's very easy to get around and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And because what I'm doing the opposite of you, John, is where I'm literally just doing circle clears of everything. And so I'm clearing out everything. And I mean, it's not that too much of a pain, because if I have to come back to something, it's a real quick jump
See,
over.
That's the thing. I caught myself doing that,
Yeah.
and then it was because I think I hands off on the game at about 40 hours.
Yeah.
With where I probably still had, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 hours of stuff to do.
Hmm.
If I did go for the 100%. But I think it was around like 30 hours or so. I kind of just backed off of doing that
Yeah.
because I had that moment where I was like, I'm gonna play this game again because I haven't experienced these characters, or I haven't experienced like CL and Monoko in the actual playing of the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm gonna come back through it, and if I'm gonna come back through it, I want to leave myself some stuff.
Yeah. Which that's fair, because like I feel like now for my second playthrough that cause like I said, I'm already in Act 2, and I'm where am I at in Act 2? I'm past the Forgotten Battlefield.
Okay.
So that's I'm still early in Act 2. I'm kind of taking a different approach as well for Act 2 for the second playthrough, where like you, like I haven't got Monoko yet. That's where I'm going now. But like I enjoyed Monoko, very fun character, but he got backburned for me. And I'm like you, I want to kind of put him more in the forefront, because for the longest time for me, I had like Lune and CL, and then I ended up swapping out CL for Mael, and that's how I finished the game. Now I'm wanting to do what you're doing, and I want to make it like CL and Monoko from the most of my playthrough. But I will say for my second playthrough, I've definitely done a lot more, I feel like, than I did my like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now. I was all go backs for me, kind of doing circle backs. So I'm kind of taking the approach of what you're saying of just doing circles and just like really that's what I'm doing now for my second playthrough. And just starting the second playthrough, that's what's kind of further solidified this game, is like, okay, yeah, I do think this game probably beat out Red Dead 2 for me, because like it's just, now that the context of everything, the amount of shit that I'm seeing and hearing, it's just like, whether if it's little stuff that, okay, yeah, I probably should have remembered, like the CL stuff we joked about. That one I probably should have remembered. But like the stuff that I mentioned that was, very early on that I told you, where it's like, there's no way I would have remembered that. Just little stuff like that. And I'm seeing it all the time. All the time.
See, I'm really happy that they did that, because I mean, I wasn't for sure, but I was slightly getting vibes of like, do you know the thing with the Nier games?
Mm-mm.
So the original Nier game, not Automata, but the first one.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Slight spoiler for anyone who's listening and cares. Maybe skip like 4 or 5 minutes ahead.
Oh, okay.
I say slight spoiler. It's not a big thing, but like
Spoiler for Nier?
for Nier.
Okay.
After you beat it, so you're fighting these creatures and you don't understand anything that they're saying and whatnot throughout the entire game. When you beat the game and do a second playthrough, all the language you couldn't understand, the game now translates for you.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And it changes how you feel about the game and character a lot.
Really? That's actually sick.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. See, I love it when a game does something like that for like your second playthrough and stuff. It's like when you go through that second playthrough and just the amount of stuff that you see, the amount of stuff that you can kind of further understand. It's not even just like direct lines of dialogue. It's just the subtle references, right? Because like there was one earlier where as you guys know, at the beginning of Act 2, the back at camp, right?
Yeah.
When a certain character kind of comes in, I notice he has a look at another character that hangs out, and I was just like, just the little stuff like that, and I'm just like, damn it, that's so good. So even going through this second playthrough, it's further made me fall in love with the game. Just kind of working my way through it. Like, this thing's a masterpiece, man. It deserves all the hype. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is actually really cool. Did you guys see all of the old developmental videos that people dug up for Expedition 33?
I've
No.
seen little bits of it here and there.
Oh, dude, it's so fascinating. So there was some old videos that was dug up on like Reddit and stuff,
Mhm.
and there was even some like old like Reddit posts where people found of the game director when he kind of started this project X amount of time ago, kind of asking for advice on how to do basically work the software,
Yeah.
work games and shit. But like, dude, the original concept of the game, like, it's so cool to see what it once was, where you could see the beginnings of certain elements of the game, like the one map with the masks. I can't remember what
Yeah.
it's called. It starts with a V. You could see like the
Visage
early
Island.
do what?
Visage Island.
Yes, thank you.
Literally facing French.
Oh, all right, there, fair enough. So you could literally see the beginning workings of that.
Mhm.
I guess one of the characters was originally named Frey. Shout out to that. Lune and Mael was always around. That was always character names. But it's also just the vibe was totally different. So like people, since this game has come out, people have made jokes like, "Oh yeah, this is French Xenoblade." Basically, that's basically what this is. It's French
Okay.
Xenoblade. Seeing the original concept, yes, this is French Xenoblade because it gave such Xenoblade vibes of like where it was more kind of futuristic and stuff.
Okay.
Mael looked a little bit more kind of futurist, like kind of steampunk kind of vibe. It's totally different vibe, and so it's super interesting to see where Expedition started and where it ended because you could see like the ideas and the rough ideas of certain characters and elements or like the Nevrons or whatever and how they evolved. So if you guys should go look at some of these videos because it's actually really cool. Because I know there was like a trailer for the game with that as well, where it's just kind of a showcase of what they're working on, and like even for like this is before they had obviously voice actors, like they had like a computerized voice for Mael just to have a voice in the trailer,
Yeah.
but they didn't have anything. So I don't know. It's just super interesting, man, to see the development of this game and where it started with those videos and what we got. So masterpiece, 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
Well, it's like one of the things is like in the game, like the in with the combat system, like with the pictos and everything associated with it. There is so much like variety for how you play your character
True.
as well.
Mhm.
Uh because it's like I looked at nothing while I was playing the game. I didn't want to see what other people were doing. I
You just
didn't want
winged
to
it.
copy. I didn't want to like see like the super strong stuff and be like, okay, well, I kind of just want to do that. And that I wanted to do my own thing. It's like even a couple weeks ago, I pulled you into a Discord call just because I was
Yeah.
like, it's like, look how stupid this is.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said a couple times on the show, like with Verso was a free shotter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's all he did. And I screen shared my gameplay with Alex to show him at one point,
Nutty.
just like some boss
Nutty.
fights.
Mhm.
I by the time I got the build like to its final form, I was shooting like on the low end 20 times.
I'm assuming you had his skill where he does more damage for the free shots, right? Okay.
I never used skills on Versa.
So it's quite literally just free shot auto attack.
I don't know what his skills do.
He actually has a skill for free shotting where literally it increases his damage up to like 10 times for up to a max of 10 shots.
But yeah, I mean, it was to the point where I was free shotting. I'd free shot 20 to 35 times, and then I would attack with 3 basic attacks, and then I would do it again. Because I basically had him going 3 times in a row, and he would just do that.
Nutty.
Because there was a point where like I finally got it, like to like the final form point, and then I messaged Alex. I was like, "Are you at your PC? You got to see this." But yeah, that was one thing. It's like and then it's like you start looking stuff up afterwards. A lot of people are doing fairly similar things. Because it's one where I mean there ended up getting nerfed because the Mael one shot
Yep.
build. Didn't know that was a thing until like I kind of stumbled across it, and because there is like a pinnacle like ultimate challenge boss in the
Okay.
game. And what I was doing throughout the entire game didn't really work. So I spent some time and I was just like, okay, I'd do an attempt and then I'd come back. I'm like, okay, looking through skills and picked us. I'm like, okay, this didn't work. Let's try something else. And I just went through like almost every skill on my characters
Oh,
and
okay.
started trying stuff. And then there was a point where like I hit it and I went, oh, that because I had seen like the headlines. And
Yeah.
I hit the skill. I went, oh, that's probably what they're talking about. But yeah, it's like just the depth that you can have to play your characters kind of however you want to.
Yep.
It's like that. I appreciated that a lot.
Right.
Although I will say, because have you guys seen any of the like podcasts and stuff that like the CEO of Sandfall, like the guy who came up with the game, has been doing?
I think I may have seen some
No,
stuff
I haven't
come
seen
out.
any of that.
One of the podcasts I watch, Dropped Frames, they did an interview with him, and man, made me feel bad. Part of why I need to do a second playthrough.
Okay.
Because he came out and said it. People who parry are better than people who dodge. It was kind of in a joking way.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was very much in a joking way, but they brought it up and he said it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to do a parry run where I pretty much parry everything. But no, it was interesting hearing him kind of talk about it, like kind of the way certain things were done. Because I think it was the song Alicia.
Okay.
When that he said when that song got made, because that got made fairly early on, he said with that song in mind, we knew the tone of the game we were making.
Oh, really?
Love that.
Because he was like, we had an idea of what we wanted to do. The soundtrack came in, and it set the tone. We knew it's like suddenly we knew the direction we were going.
Nice. Sometimes it's all you need, man. Just you have great music, and that sets the tone for everything. So that makes sense to hear. I also saw something with the.
One thing I was gonna say as well, because he said this as well. You know why there's a parry system in the game? Because when he was initially working on the game and like learning how to do coding because he wanted to make the game, he was playing Sekiro.
The game that requires you to parry.
Yeah.
And he liked parry, and he said he was playing it, and then he had a thought when I goes, why doesn't my game have parrying?
Right? No,
that's fantastic.
I'm glad you said that because what I was going to say actually could also tie into that. So someone found recently that the CEO of Sandfall apparently has like a playlist of like uploaded videos on YouTube of him going through Devil May Cry with perfect no damage runs with just dodging.
Well, that was the other thing. It's like he said once they decided they were having a parry and dodge mechanic, he said now that we have that, a requirement is we have to show that you can beat the game without taking damage.
Yeah.
So I guess internally they had someone who went through and beat the game without taking any damage.
Ooh, that's awesome.
That's a heck of a run.
Yeah, especially with a couple bosses.
Like, I don't know if he said that like explicitly, but he basically said, yeah, once we decided that you could do this, we had to show that it was possible.
Nice.
Imagine being a streamer or content creator and trying to do a no-hit Nuzlocke run.
Yeah,
I don't know why I had a Nuzlocke.
I don't know what a Nuzlocke has to do with
but
anything.
A no-hit run and where if you get hit, you have to restart the game.
Yep.
God, that would suck.
Imagine getting to
someone's gonna do it.
I mean, someone will.
Yeah.
Especially because it's there's some of the bosses that are kind of rough. A lot of the Act 3 enemies in that, God, they a lot of them have that thing where they're like,
I'm gonna hit you.
I'm gonna hit.
Yep.
It's like you
Absolutely
fucker.
despise that.
Yeah, it gets me. It still gets me sometimes, man. No, I'm looking forward to seeing someone try to do that challenge. I have not seen anything of anyone trying it yet, but you know it's coming. You know someone's gonna try it, and they're gonna try it in the hardest difficulty.
I mean, they probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to prep for that, I would have to have my biggest thing when having a playthrough where I have a save file for each boss just to learn each boss's combos.
Yes, yeah. You'd really have to learn all the combos before you even attempt it.
Yeah.
100%.
I gotta point this out because you said that. this motherfucker. This motherfucker didn't know that you could load other saves.
No clue. I never tried. I never needed to.
He thought there was only a continue in a new game button until he beat it.
I didn't need it. I never needed it. I just went, brother. I didn't need it. Okay. It's like, look, when you hit when you go load your
What
save.
you think was the point of multiple save slots?
He didn't. I don't think he knew that there were multiple save
I
slots.
had my one save slot. I just played the whole game.
He hit start game.
Yep.
And then
so
just
you
went.
So when you hit save menu, you didn't go in like the 0.5 seconds to hit the save and then confirm overwrite of this, like, oh, there's other blocks there.
Oh no, I never did that one time. My
to be
save
fair,
was always flags.
But yeah, to be fair, I didn't do that either because when I hit a stopping point, I was playing. And my thought was when I get to the next flag, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was always flag
That's
save
fair.
for me. So like on the load menu, I never noticed the button at the bottom saying hit the X button to load I never noticed because I never needed to. I never needed to. So I just never noticed it. I didn't need to reload another save. I didn't know.
Because he sent me a message and I read the message and I went,
He just said, wow. That's all he said to me was, wow.
I guess I'm the only one because I'm terrible about always having to save just because of old RPGs.
And see, that's
of
fair.
not having autosave.
Well, see, that's why when I was ready to get off, I always made sure to go to flag. I'd stare at the corner, saving in progress. All right, cool. I'm good. So, I never opened anything up to save manually. I just went with flags. So, again, when you went to the reload screen, it's just down at the bottom. Now that I noticed it, where it's just X load previous. I never noticed it because I never needed it. I never needed to reload. It's just all right. Let's go. I just never needed to reload to a previous save.
I always make sure I save. I don't even care if it's a flag. If there's a moment I can save, I save just because old RPGs have trained me just for like.
And that's fair.
I've just been like, oh, you haven't saved in a couple hours?
yeah. See, I was kind of that way at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it kind of got to a point where I started to notice how often the autosave is.
Yeah.
Because the autosave is anytime you reach a flag or
Oh, yeah, it's pretty frequent.
It's anytime you enter or exit a zone,
Yeah.
it autosaves. So I was like, I don't need to worry about that too much.
Yeah.
It's very frequent in Expedition.
So again, I just didn't notice. My bad. Okay. I didn't know.
But
It happens.
But yeah, at the end of the day, Expedition 10 out of 10, masterpiece. Game. Gonna be very hard, at least for me personally, for this to not be my game of the year.
It's gonna be very hard for me not to really advocate and stand on my hill that this is gonna win game of the year. Like, I mean, could we have a situation like last year where we have an Astrobot that has not been announced yet, gets announced next month and releases this year? Because that's what Astrobot was.
Yeah.
Could that happen? Sure. But knowing what we have coming out, know what's come out, I find it hard pressed. Like, this is game of the year. This is game of the year, in my opinion.
For me, like I said, this is it's going to be hard to beat my personal game of the year. At this point in time, I do think if it was just what's out now,
right?
Then yeah, I think it would take it. But that's not to say there's some pretty stiff competition that's already come out this year for it.
And as Alex mentioned, there's always a chance of just random sudden releases or shadow drops. So.
Could have an Astrobot.
I was going to say, because as well, like, I mean, we've got that block in October opened up now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since GTA 6 moved out.
Yep. So, all right. Let me talk about some Doom here, and we can kind of go from there. So I've played only the first 3 chapters of Doom so far. I will say, let me establish this, not a Doom guy, pun intended. Never really played Doom at any point, okay? So going into this, they made it very, like, part of their marketing, this is very welcoming to new players, right? We can all agree that is what they said. And in terms of gameplay, absolutely correct. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. No clue what's happening. I have no context, and I know this.
Fine.
I know this is not meant to be a heavy narrative story game. Whatever.
Doom is mostly like the game happens. It's like the game happens, and then afterwards, like they come out and they go, "Okay, here's what the story was."
Yeah. So I have very little context of Doom. Right. My context of Doom is I know who Doom guy was. I know that he was basically a John Wick before John Wick. Is essentially what happened. I know he basically became a god and became Doom Slayer. That's my context that I have for Doom. Is how Doom Guy became the Doom Slayer, and a little context with how we got to where we are right now, where at the beginning of this game, and I'm assuming it's going to obviously change later, where it's like Doom Slayer is like just a winter soldier for this group called the Makers, which were introduced in Doom Eternal. I found out because I have no
I don't
context.
know. I was under the impression that Doom Slayer is more like a title.
That's it is that's what they call him.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, but
essentially
It's one where it's like
he got the Doom Slayer from Eternal and the Gods DLC from that one.
like
it's like because I thought it was like he's still Doom Guy, but these people call him Doom Slayer because he basically earned that.
Yeah,
Right.
by
More or
going
less.
and killing gods.
yeah, basically. Like he's basically now that with being the Doom
He's
Slayer,
sci-fi Kratos.
basically, like he's a god now. That's essentially he's basically a god to my understanding with this title of Doom Slayer that he earned. So yeah, you're on the right path, but he's basically like Kratos. Is the vibe is what I understand. So I have no idea what's going on. It throws you into it very quickly, and in terms of like it doesn't help any new players grasp what's going on. I guess they're kind of expecting new players probably looked into it, which that's fair. I just didn't.
No, they didn't. I mean, in Doom games, narrative takes a back seat.
I mean, I understand it's gameplay first. I get it. It's just go out and have a fun time, go have a good time. I would just like to have a little context of what's going on. That's just me personally. But I will say,
to be fair, he's going from Expedition
to Doom, vastly different, and I'm not a Doom fan. But I will say, in terms of gameplay, very fun. It is very snappy. It is very quick. Wasn't the tagline for this one "Stand and Fight"?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I'm in them trenches, Bubba. Like it'll pop up on my screen. It's just like, oh, you're getting low health. It's like, all right, it's fine. I'm in the trenches. If I die, I die. Haven't died yet. Shout out to that. But I mean, the gameplay is extremely quick, extremely snappy. You are, that you can obviously play Doom. You can play these games any way you want. Obviously, if you want to just stick with your range weapons to stay back, obviously do that. Or you can just get up in their face and just have a great time. I'm a shotgun guy. Give me the shotgun. Let's have fun. I've gotten a few different weapons now. The saw shield is really cool. As it looked in all the trailers, the saw shield is really cool. Really enjoy that. Everything about the gameplay they delivered on, right? It's very fluid. It feels great. It's a great time. You just go in, kind of turn your brain off. It's essentially sci-fi Oblivion. That's basically what's happening here. You got giant Oblivion gates with demons coming out. You need to go shut down the gates. Go take out these demons because, fuck the demons that killed your rabbit. Yeah, you're having a great time with that. Have not got to do the dragon part
Wait,
yet.
they killed Isabella?
No, it's Daisy.
Is it Daisy?
Yeah, it's Daisy.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's from like original.
yeah, that's
Doom.
like OG. Yeah, that's
No. I wasn't referencing that. The whole
Oh,
Doom released
yeah,
the same day.
Smash, yeah, Smash and Isabel. Yeah, I remember.
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, I got it now. I got it now. It took me a minute. Yeah, the old Smash thing. I remember.
Wrong rabbit.
Yeah, wrong rabbit. I remember now.
Yeah, I know
now.
who Daisy is.
Okay, yeah. No, I haven't got to do the dragon part yet. That looks cool. Level 3 was well, at least I guess the first of probably multiple of the big mech levels. The mech was a lot of fun, pretty simplistic gameplay. It's just like boxing, basically. You come up to a big demon, demon goes to attack, ooh, little sidestep, ooh, hit him in the face. And then you can do some smashes and some kicks and stuff. It's pretty simplistic gameplay in that front, but it's fun. You feel strong. And it's super badass when you're going to take care of this one bomb thing and another demon with armor comes up and hits you and you kind of just get up and look at him and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. And you start beating the hell out of him. And then when you finish beating the hell, you take the bomb, shove it in his mouth and kick him off the cliff like 300 style. And it's just like, God bless this. All right, this is pretty sick.
Yeah, this is Doom's signature all over.
Yeah,
it.
everything about it. It's just everything I've heard, I know about Doom. One thing that I thought was kind of strange, I don't know if this is normal for Doom or maybe I just hit a wrong button. I don't think I hit anything. So I think this is just how the game is. It's like each time you finish a level versus just like carrying on the game, it always brings me back to the main menu to then hit continue and then pick like the next chapter. I was like, it's okay, whatever, I guess. Which as you finish each chapter, of course, as they've talked about in all the promotional stuff, you can just pick another chapter and go back and complete the percentage scale, whatever it's going to say.
That sounds like a this game thing.
Do what now?
That sounds like a this game thing.
Okay, yeah. See,
'Cause
I,
know,
I, I didn't know if that was
because I
normal
know
or
in
what.
Doom 2018, I don't believe it did that, and I never
was
messed
just-
with internals. So
Yeah, and it was just, what was it? Just continuous?
yeah, Doom
Okay.
2018 was.
See, I don't think I'm hitting any buttons because usually when I finish a level, I just kind of put my controller on my leg and I'm watching whatever happens. But it's like each time, all 3 chapters I finish, it brings me back to the main menu, and I'm like, did something happen? did the game crash? What happened? And I hit continue. It's like, oh, here, pick your next level. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
I think it's very much just a Doom Dark Ages thing.
Okay, well, I mean, either way, the game is a lot of fun in terms of its gameplay. I'm just incredibly lost, which slightly turns me off a little bit because it's like I want to have at least a little context. I understand there's a whole set of lore of Doom, but like if we can like catch me up in some capacity, that would have been nice. I understand this is not a story narrative driven game, but I want to know a little bit like why am I with the makers? I understand there was a game right before this I could have just played looked into, but as a new player, why is the Doomslayer and the makers and basically like under their control? Which it's already been kind of referenced a little bit with like the leader of the human forces was like, oh, they made a deal or whatever. So, okay, well, what how did we get to that deal? Like, can you give me a little context?
Nope.
You're giving me little sprinkles, but I would like a little more. But the gameplay is very fun. It is very snappy. I will say, want to pass this off to John. I guess in some people's case that maybe want to check this game out, might be making it a little difficult, huh? Because in your case, you had to go. It told you to go change settings.
Yeah, like I downloaded it on PC Game Pass at first, because haven't ended up playing it because I went to play it this morning, and as soon as I clicked to launch the game, it brought up it acted like it's gonna launch it, and then it brought up a message that was like, oh, see, you're using either 12th or 13th gen processor. You might want to go into your BIOS settings, and then it listed some stuff to change on it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Too much work.
Like I don't care about Doom enough for that.
Right.
So I started downloading it on my Xbox. It's probably done now, but it was probably done before I left. I just didn't check it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's one where I'll probably hop in and give it a try. It doesn't. I've heard it's not a very long game, so I may jump into it and see if I like it. I've never really been a Doom guy. I have Doom 2016. I looked the other day because a buddy of mine was asking me about it. I played it for 34 minutes.
Nice.
You probably finished the tutorial level.
I played it for about 34 minutes, and that was just. And I remember doing it because it was just like, I think I bought it because it was on sale, and then launched it, and started playing it, and went, it's not what I'm in the mood for right now. Because Doom is, Doom when you play it, it expects you to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of their things with that one, because when they were announcing this one, it was like 2016 was the run and gun, Eternal was the maneuverability or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole hooks and everything, and then this one's the stand and fight.
Yeah, so it's one where I'm gonna probably go home and like maybe tomorrow hop in and give it a try, see if I enjoy it. But yeah, it's also it's one where not really Doom guys here.
Right. Yeah. None of us are Doom guys.
This wasn't really the one of the big games of the year we were looking forward to.
Yeah.
I was about to say the only time I really was Doom was growing up, and it was Doom 3 when that was one, and that one's sort of the black sheep of the family.
I've seen that one's kind of looked down upon a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's the real question for you, Alex. You've played 3 chapters of it.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna keep playing it and finish it?
I want to ride the dragon, so yes, I'm gonna keep playing it.
So you're gonna roll credits?
I don't know if I'll roll credits, but I will keep playing it. It's not a long game and it's not hard. So, I could probably roll credits, no problem. It's 22 chapters, and the chapters you can finish them in like 15, 20 minutes. It's really not long.
I've from a few videos I've seen, it seems game is somewhere around like 12 to 14 hours long.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really short.
Well, 12 to 14 hours for just like doing a playthrough. I guess if you want to go back and do everything that you can do on the map, or like, I don't know if there's collectibles or something like that in the game.
That or go do one of the crazy hard difficulties. The game's got like 6 different difficulties that are basically adjust like the type of challenge that you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like if your like life like little life stones you got. Like if you run out of those, the game automatically ends or something like that.
Well, yeah, I think there's because I think the way that it works in this game, because I heard about it in a video, is like there's essentially the point at which the difficulty stops getting higher, and then it's more like permadeath.
Yeah, it
Is the
is.
difficulty increase from that point forward? But I've also heard that the game has like pretty good, like it's pretty customizable to how you play it.
Yeah, it is.
So like you can select your difficulty, and then you can select like game modifiers. So you can turn up like projectile speed, overall game speed, and stuff like that.
So like I know in terms of like all the difficulties, it's like the lowest difficulty you'll see where you have like an unlimited parry window, for example, and then it's like the next difficulty it kind of changes. The next difficulty it goes to about, let's say, about 60%, and every difficulty after that, the parry window, for example, stays at that 60%. But that's when it just adds like the permadeath or like you lose the life stones, whatever the game restarts, just shit like that. But then like you could go in and pick any difficulty and adjust parry window or whatever. So I mean it is very customizable. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna promise you that I'm gonna play and beat the game. I'll promise you I tried the game.
Look, I want to at least ride the dragon. And once I can ride the dragon, we'll see where I go from there. But I'm so addicted to Expedition right now, and that's my problem with my second playthrough. So yeah, I'm still gonna play it. But how much we'll see.
Yeah, it's a similar thing, except I'm addicted to Remnant 2 right now.
Yeah, there you go. But no, Doom's fun. It's on Game Pass. Go play it. Even if you haven't played Doom before, just go shoot some stuff. At the very least, if you never played Doom and you don't know anything going on, this game is at least a great turn your brain off game. You just go in there, kill some demons, have a great time. So shout out to that. Let's shout out a sponsor too. Let's shout out Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. Doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if you're picking up the hydration line, the chill line, or the energy cans or powder. The promo code and the referral link works for all of them, and we'd appreciate the extra support. If they have another sale going on, no big deal. Using the referral link still helps the brand. You don't have to use our code. It's okay. We understand.
And Rogue did just change the design of their fruit punch and the hydration line. Gave it a nice new sleek look.
Ooh, we like that. We like new sleek looks. I don't think they've had a new energy flavor for a little while, have they? Yeah.
Last one was that one that I thought was atrocious.
Which one was that?
I'd have to look it up.
Wasn't it like a lemonade of some sort?
Was it lemonade? Maybe I missed that one. And I'm
Wasn't
thinking
like,
of
wasn't like a mango?
the strawberry banana one.
Oh yeah, strawberry banana in the form of an energy drink. I've never been able to get behind. Never been able to get behind that. But yeah, shout out to Rogue Energy though. Shout out to some Rogue.
Dragon fruit lemonade was the last one.
See, that sounds great. That sounds up my alley. Did you not like that one, or was it strawberry banana you didn't like?
I was thinking of the strawberry banana.
Okay, yeah, dragon fruit lemonade sounds dope. I need to get it because the dragon fruit it's on our image. Let me look. Yeah, the dragon fruit mango hydration. That one's fire. That one's straight gas. I love that. Is so incredible of the hydration line. Definitely recommend that. So hopefully they get some more chill flavors soon too. Would like to see that happen. All right, let's talk about the marathon situation because this is wild, absolutely bananas. Have you guys looked at this at all? Besides the little bit that I sent in a message to you guys.
I knew something was happening. I just had no clue what it was till you actually said it was.
Okay, all right. So
I just read what you had in there.
Fair enough. So here's what's happening. Bungie and what they're claiming a former employee, which people are raising red flags on, stole an incredibly god amount of art, basically for the entire game.
Okay.
Like the entire, we can all agree that when it came to Marathon, right? The gameplay looked fine. So there were some lackluster, kind of question marks. But for the most part, the general reception around the game is, well, you at least have like a cool aesthetic, right? That was the general, industry-wide, reception. It's like, well, the aesthetic is cool. Everything about it was stolen, basically. So basically a lot of general assets came from an artist. Her account is known as Anti-Real, and she has been doing art for over a decade, where all of her art is basically digital posters in this sort of art style, this cyberpunk sort of art style, whatever, big graphic design stuff. And she put up side by sides of all of her digital posters where like it'll literally say anti-real daily series, for example, plus actual assets in the game where poor ass job where they took the exact poster, recolored it, tried to cover up the anti-real daily series, and it's still bleeding through in the game images. Like it's crazy.
That's rough.
Then there's like you know, a lot of like her posters and stuff where it'll say like some word. It's like a like ALEPH something
Okay.
with a bunch of symbols beside it, and that whole string, that small portion of a poster, was taken and slapped on mechs, for example, like just design pieces. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of like small design pieces, crates, mechs, ships, walls, just shit like that. But literally almost all of it stolen from this artist, Anti-Rail. So she actually had an interview with Gene Park with the Washington Post, and she said when the game was announced in 2023, she had some suspicions, but the alpha release is what confirmed all of it, because the alpha release, everything that was found in it was all basically further confirming that this is basically all her art, multiple pieces. It's not one or two things, guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot. One thing that she even pointed out is that in a lot of her art, I didn't know what this was. I had to look at the comments and have someone explain what it was. Where in a lot of her art, she'll hide in what's called the lost meme. Do you guys know the lost meme?
I think I do. It sounds familiar.
So I had to look at comments. The lost meme is like dude running into it was like the actual 4 comic strip is dude running into a hospital, talking to someone at the reception desk, doctor talking, someone dead.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
it's just that little meme, but how they hid the lost meme is with lines of
Mhm.
each part. So it's like part 1, it's like line this tall to represent dude running in person at the desk, and then people standing beside each other, and then person dead. So it's like it makes like a little line graphic.
Yeah.
Where she said that she hides this in her art. Like someone found lost meme in Marathon on a whiteboard, like with a bunch of other like, you know, chemistry based stuff. But the lost meme, that line drawing that she always hides in her art, is also in the game on a whiteboard. Like, dude, it's egregious how much is stolen from this. So Bungie already had a pre-planned stream for yesterday, Friday the 16th, with the current art director, who is Joseph Cross. And this stream, they did not do any gameplay stuff. They went head first and just addressed this entire situation. This man was the most defeated looking motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
See, I saw the announcement because that's when I first caught wind of it. I saw the headline showing Joseph Cross admitting to the allegations. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Bungie done something dumb.
Yeah. So he claims it was a former employee. However, the artist also provided a screenshot where Joseph Cross is following her. So it kind of,
It's sketchy.
Yeah, something's not adding up here, buddy. So some updates I saw today is that apparently Bungie has now canceled any other streams coming up, pre-orders and stuff like that. So my whole question for the topic for you guys, is this game dead on arrival? Because it was already in a lukewarm state.
Game was already gonna be dead on arrival.
Yeah,
See, I agree, but I feel like this is the nail in the coffin for the game. Legitimately, I do.
it's gonna be pretty hard for them to come back and get anything from this. I mean, the biggest thing was people were hoping for was after the alpha that they went back to the development and whatnot and did a bunch of changes, and people try out the open beta, and maybe that could have given enough to at least give it a little bit of lifespan.
Right.
But this controversy with the whole art stuff and whatnot now, and then all pre-orders and whatnot, Marathon's fairly dead.
Well, they're gonna. What I can see happening is this. It's like they've pulled everything already.
Yes.
They're gonna back off. No, we're not gonna hear anything about Marathon for a while.
Oh no.
We're not gonna hear anything about Marathon for a while because they're probably
Swipe, you can see another one. I'm gonna pass this.
They're,
so you can
they're-
see what I'm talking about.
they're probably gonna have to being forced to go back and get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're gonna-
most definitely.
They're gonna have
Which
to go
that's-
back and get rid of all of it. And I wouldn't. I mean, honestly, they're gonna have to give the artist a bag.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to shell out some money to
Oh,
get,
yeah,
to
no,
get
they-
this to go away.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna have to shell some money out to the artist just to get them
Make it
to
right.
stop talking. Not even to make it right. They're gonna do it to get them to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they're gonna have to go back and get rid of all of it.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, no, the whole art direction is gonna have to. Well, not necessarily whole art direction, but a lot of
They're-
assets are gonna change.
You can also swipe and see another
yeah,
photo.
they're gonna have to. We're probably not gonna hear anything about Marathon for
A while.
like a year.
Almost
probably.
definitely.
So, like, straight up, this game's supposed to come out in September. It's got to get delayed.
Oh, most definitely.
Dude, because, like, again, like you were just saying, this game was already in a lukewarm reception,
Yes.
right? The alpha was very lukewarm. The initial reveal was like, no one was hyped. It was like, looks interesting. So it's not like this is something that you were incredibly hyped for and everyone's like, oh, let's go. It was like, looks fine. And now you have this on top of it to an egregious level where, like, I'm seeing, like, people that I follow in the industry and stuff say in all of their time with the gaming industry, this might be like the biggest case of plagiarism in gaming history.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the size of the studios involved, right? Someone like Bungie, this coming out the way that it has could legit be like the biggest plagiarism case in gaming history. Like there's that much stuff stolen.
I'm wondering if it, because like, I'm wondering if this was like the worst example of a miscommunication ever, where it could have just been an email where, like, yeah, maybe the guy follows the artist. Maybe he sends a link and he's like, hey, we want something like this.
Right.
And then and maybe it's just somebody's like, well, I know he likes this, so maybe he won't notice.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's like, maybe he just say, hey, we want this. See if you can see what you can do. Meaning, like, contact the artist, see if we can get the rights to use these.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I'll just use this.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's something like that, and then it's like it's just something that went on for so long
Yeah.
that the guy's probably just like, oh, I told him to take care of that. They probably took care of it the right way, and then now it's like, and then everything starts coming out, and he's like, oh, I probably should have checked on that.
Yeah.
Or it's even possibly a thing where, again, a miscommunication. He sees some stuff. He's like, oh, that looks very similar to that artist I follow, but I mean, they couldn't have just used it, right?
And, like, see, the thing is, like,
And then it's a lot of minor detail, at least in that stuff that Alex just showed us. It's a lot of minor detail. So it's also a lot of things that, unless you're the one who did it or like specifically looking for it, it's something you could very easily just look over.
yeah.
Well, see, that's why I was like, I wonder if like he follows this artist, he's like, oh, I like this. This would be something like this would be perfect, and then sends a link, and he's like, hey, use this for inspiration, maybe, and then use it for inspiration ends up just becoming, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is not the first time Bungie's been accused of plagiarism, right? Like, this
No.
is just the one that's really hit the light in a high capacity. Because in the heat and the height of all this going on, someone quote tweeted a post from June 20th, 2023 of Destiny 2 Lightfall expansion of this is the artist original
Yep,
art.
I remember that.
And here is the Destiny 2 art.
Yep, I remember
Like-
that one.
Like, I'll show you, John. Like, so
That one
that's
was a
the
wild
original
one too.
art. That's the Destiny art. So it's like, this is not the first time this has been at. This is the one that just reached.
That's different.
Oh, come on, John. But, like, dude, seriously, at this point, you got to delay this game, and it needs to not even be delayed to 2026. It just needs to get delayed indefinitely and get people to kind of forget about it, and
I mean, pretty much.
hopefully they can come back, right, and people and correct the entire game, maybe change a lot of art style aesthetics and stuff, and kind of bounce back from there. But oh my God, what a shit show
The
this
big
is!
problem with that is it's like they've put so much money into Marathon of all things,
Mhm.
and then when they finally show it off, everybody looks at it and goes, that's not what we want.
Right?
Yep.
And then now this controversy, it's like you're not gonna win anyway,
Yeah.
because it's like people aren't gonna want to buy it.
Right.
It's like,
And again, it's also an extraction shooter, which people are already mid about anyways. Extraction shooters for the most
Well,
part.
Yeah.
that's because most of them that come out are this.
Yes.
It's like they're weird. Like, I mean, because personally, like, the overall art direction of Marathon, I'm not a big fan of.
And a lot of
It's
people isn't.
It's way too colorful way too colorful, way too like much going on for my
Personal
taste
taste.
in it. But yeah, it's like extraction games. It's like people I mean, people are kind of fiending for them almost.
Are they?
Well, it's one of those. It's like we don't get good ones.
Okay,
It's
I
like
guess so.
the last few that have come out or the last few that have been like advertised to come out
Yeah.
have been disasters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what my feel is because I mean, nowadays, whenever I see an extraction shooter, people sort of like looking at it from afar, being like, "It's an extraction shooter. Are we gonna play it?"
That's because we're hoping for a good one to come out, but like because we had like there's Tarkov, and then there was Dark and Darker,
Yeah.
and then it's like in between there we had games like The Cycle, which The Cycle was fun, but it had its own like progression problems and it had a lot of cheater problems and that to where it kind of killed its own, and then they did a whole lot of restructuring in the game which kind of killed its fan base and then ended up making it go away. But like other than that, we either get like free to play one versions of it that aren't great, or we get like big AAA companies trying to capitalize on it and like shoehorn a game mode like it into their game that isn't it like it doesn't capture the feeling that it's supposed to. Because like what was it? It was Call of Duty had an extraction mode to it, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was like it launched. It was one from a few years ago because it had. There was Warzone, there was Warzone, then they had multiplayer, then they had their weird extraction thing that didn't.
Yeah,
that wasn't fun to play.
Yeah,
it's like I played it
remember
a little
this.
bit and it wasn't great.
Right.
But yeah, it's like we don't. The problem is we don't get good successes in the extraction shooter genre. We have Tarkov, which is probably the biggest name of it, but that's just because it's been around for a long time. But it's the most in depth, but it's also jank as hell. And then on the complete other side of it, we have like Dark and Darker, which is a completely different feel for it, but it's still fun. And those are like the two pillars that we stand on. And then it's just we get copycats of those that don't do anything unique.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of them. And let me tell you, none of them are still around.
For a reason.
They come out, they basically they come out, they're around for 5 months and then they shut down. And that's been the case with most all of them.
Yeah. Now kind of segueing a little bit from the marathon thing.
Hey John, does Payday count as an extraction shooter?
No.
I saw you got back on Payday recently.
Did I?
It said so.
I haven't seen them on.
Neither have I.
Oh, I thought,
and it's my account.
I thought I saw you on Payday 2 recently.
Nope.
Okay.
No. The key distinction with Payday, Zach, you go in, you don't lose anything if you.
I know.
Yeah.
It was just my dumb brain doing the connections. I mean, you extract cash and you're shooting. I knew the answer. I just wouldn't throw something dumb out there.
Now, pivoting slightly from the marathon thing, I got a question for you guys. Is Jim Ryan the worst thing to ever happen to PlayStation? Because, like, think about it. Really think about it. Really think about it.
Wasn't this one of his push games?
Along with Concord, Last of Us Faction, shut down, Studio Japan that became, current.
When did he take over? What is he responsible for?
Everything we have going on now.
Was it 2018 or is that too far?
I think that sounds right because during the PS4 era, that was mostly the other guy, Sean Layden, who I love to reference here on the show. But like legit, is Jim Ryan the worst thing to ever happen to freaking PlayStation? Like, in all seriousness, because like I feel like he is.
Well, okay, there's something important I have to point out. So, like, if it's 2018, he's around for the launch of the PS5.
2019 is when he took over.
Which also, it's still like he's around for the PS5 era, which means he's around for all the limited and special edition PS5 DualSense controllers.
Mm.
So we got to give him some credit for
Oh
that.
my God, John.
Go away, John.
You and these controllers. But like,
You've bought them too.
I've bought some.
Yeah.
Some.
You're in this with me.
You're not as far into the bandwagon, but you're in it.
Oh God. But no, like seriously, that's a legit question, guys. Like he's the one who bought Bungie, which obviously at the time sounded fine.
I mean, at the time, it sounded really good.
But he bought them as the live service experts, and we see how that's worked out.
And which one? I mean, we were still all skeptical about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he could like you bought Bungie. You know what you do when you buy Bungie? You have them make Destiny 3.
Yeah, just let them make Destiny 3. Let them do their thing there.
You just tell them, make a new Destiny. We know you want to keep making Destiny 2, but make Destiny 3.
You'll
just
make
do
money.
that and you'll make all the money.
But they really would have. That's what's annoying.
But no, it's like keep push. It's like we're gonna keep having you push out mediocre Destiny 2 expansions that are not received well, and then go have fun and make a game and steal all the art for it.
Yep. So we have that situation. Of course, we have Concord dead on arrival. Last of Us Faction shut down. Spider-Man Great Web shut down, which that one still makes me mad. That one was shut down. That one would have been cool.
Even if it launched, they would have shut down within a year.
Oh, yeah, it would have. And then there's just numerous other canceled projects. And then on top of all of that, recent news that just came out a couple days ago is PlayStation executive Jade Raymond leaves the studio she founded, which is Haven Studios, who is developing the online shooter Fair Games.
I don't even remember what that is.
So now it's another potential game dead on arrival. And apparently she left the studio after Fair Games' first internal playtest.
Oof.
Yeah. So, like, in all seriousness, is Jim Ryan the worst thing to happen to PlayStation? Because in my opinion, yes. Like, this is sad at this point. Like, you still put out bangers, yes.
Well,
God of War Ragnarok, banger. Spider-Man 2, banger. Ghost of Your Time this year, gonna be a banger. You still put out your good single-player bangers. Helldivers 2 was a great success, the one anomaly of this live service multiplayer stuff you're doing. But, dude...
Because guess whose hands weren't in it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but, like, dude, the overwhelming negatives is crazy.
Well, it's one where... Like, I mean, we're looking at it 6 years later after all of these initiatives kind of got put in place.
Yeah.
And it's one where, like, is the idea of making live service games and, like, putting it out there to, like, essentially that's going to be how you want to make money? Is that a bad idea? No, it's just not. It's not executed well.
Yeah, it was executed
And
poorly.
it's one where he comes up and he says, "This is what we want to do." The problem is the wrong studios and the wrong people are put in charge of those projects.
That's true.
So the ideas that he had, I mean, they're solid ideas.
Yeah, they're sound ideas.
Because, I mean, the thing with Concord is, like, if Concord was Marvel Rivals, everybody would be praising him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the fact that, like, Concord was not what anybody wanted it to be, because it's not. It, like, the trailer they showed before they told us what the game was showed us a different game.
Yep.
And then
Totally
Concord,
totally different story.
and then Concord was completely uninspired and had bland characters. And it's like, yeah, nobody's gonna want to do that. But it's like, is that on Jim Ryan or is that on the team that thought it was gonna be the greatest thing ever?
Herman Holst. That was his baby.
It's like the team behind it. It's like, yeah, at the end of the day, the overall guy in charge is going to be the one who everybody's pointing to.
Yeah, take the fall.
But at the end of the day, he's just the one saying, we want to try to make this. Did they try to make too many of them? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
they tried to make too many of them, and they still had the wrong studios working on the wrong stuff.
Yeah, and they were also trying to push a lot of this out the door very quickly too. Was a part of the problem.
Well, I mean, the other thing is you can take a half-baked live service game as long as it plays well. There could be nothing to do in that game. People play the shit out of it. I play them all the time. I play 2 or 3 a year for about 3 months. I know I'm not going to keep playing them for long, but I love doing it.
Right.
It's like they make those games for me.
Yeah, John is the target
Yeah,
audience.
it's like me and about 10,000 other people are the target audience for those games. It's like, and they really, they were trying to just make a bunch of them and shotgun approach them out and see which ones stuck. It's just they also didn't release any of them. They released Concord, and that's it.
We saw how that went.
And it's like, yeah, so it's what we're. I don't think the ideas that he had is wrong. I think it's one where when he came up with the ideas, I don't know if it's him saying which studios are going to be in charge of it, because if he's the one who decided which studios were working on the games and who was in charge of those, then 100% it's his fault.
True.
If he had the ideas and then it was like a board of directors or other people beneath him that handed it out, then those people need to get gone.
Oh, facts. Because that is the ultimate question that you're playing devil's advocate for him, and that is a great thing to think about. Is it Jim that said, "Hey, Naughty Dog, we want you to do this" or whatever? Or was it Herman? Because Herman is the head of PlayStation Studios. Was it Herman or was it Jim? Who did it?
Yeah.
Who did it?
If Jim is saying, "Hey, it's like just get a bunch of studios to start making them. We'll pick out the ones that look like they might do the best, and we'll stick with those."
Right.
I mean, that's how a lot of stuff happens.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that's what it was, and then Herman was the one who went, Naughty Dog, work on a live service game, then yeah, that's the stupidest thing I've heard.
And Naughty Dog's looking at him like, what?
It's like, excuse me? It's like, can you please repeat that? I think our Zoom link kind of messed up a little bit. Had some service issues.
That's one where it's like, I mean, yeah, 100%. Someone needs to be gone.
Yeah,
from all of this.
Somebody
It's
in
just,
the production line.
It's just I just look at it. I'm like, let's make sure we get the right one out.
Yeah, you're right. Get the right one out. Jim Ryan's retired, right? So now we're gonna be able to see who was really at fault. Because keep in mind, Herman Holst is now just like the head of all PlayStation's game development. So we really about to see now.
If PlayStation keeps doing stupid shit for 6 more years,
then it was Herman.
Yeah.
Then we know.
And also, let's not forget, I guess further add to this, when Jim Ryan retired, his position was split. There was Herman Holst and another guy over in Japan. That is both of his positions.
Okay.
Less than a year, that's already changed. And Herman got knocked down a notch. And now it's just that dude from Japan, who is now the new Jim Ryan, right? So I'm just saying, Herman, buddy, you might be messing up a lot, because that was after Concord. After the Concord disaster, Herman got knocked down a peg. So buddy.
So maybe it's not Jim Ryan.
Yeah, maybe he was just one half of the problem. Herman, he's living on the coattails of Horizon. You did a great job creating Horizon. Good job, buddy. But maybe you should just stick with Horizon, because you haven't done much else anywhere else, being the head of PlayStation Studios. So I don't know. I saw people asking that question: is Jim Ryan the worst thing to happen to PlayStation? I'm like, that's a fair question to ask. That's a fair question to ask with the marathon situation, plus all the cancellations, the dead on arrivals. It's an interesting conversation. All right, let's shout out some merch. Check out Agent Inc. with the referral link down below. Pick up a jersey, pick up a hat, or go over to sparky3shop.com where you can pick up the B shirt, the We Have Hats hat, or another shirt of some capacity. And we'd appreciate extra support. Again, use the referral link down below for Agent Inc. or go over to Sparky3 Shop and pick up some merch there as well. All right, Zach.
What?
I want to know about the 100 line first.
You want to know about the 100 line?
I want to know about the 100 line.
Well, it's not 100 lines.
I want to know about the 100 lines.
It's not 100 lines.
I want to know about the 100 lines.
It's 100 days.
I want to know about the 100 line.
Okay.
Tell me about the lines.
I don't even know where I saw this. It popped up for me like in this last week.
Yeah.
And I really got looking into it, and then
it came out the same week as Expedition.
Yeah. I think it came out the same day.
It did, because
was it the same day? Okay.
Yeah. So when I did the Metacritic prediction video, I pointed that out, because I pointed out when you made fun of me when this game came out, and I was just like, oh yeah, it looks pretty cool. And you called, you like, you're gonna play it. I called you out in that video. It's like, no, John, I'm not gonna play it because I have Expedition to play. I do want to play it though.
I was gonna play it because it's part of the Extreme Despair game set, apparently. Which is the Danganronpa Trigger Havoc games, and the wonderful art director and everyone who's part of that is still, because you can always know. I forget his name at the moment. You can always know when he's worked on a game because he has a very distinct art style.
I will say, when I was scrolling through the reviews on Steam, that was half the reviews.
Yes. Yeah, he has a very distinct art style, and you can always know it.
Yeah.
Because after Danganronpa and I played that, I was like, immediately, as soon as I see it, I'm like, there it is.
There it is again. It's back.
But so the main basis of it, I forget our MC's name because all the MCs in these games, their names are very normal and not very memorable. I'm gonna be honest, because I've played like half of the Despair games and I don't remember any of the MCs' names. More or less, people are living in the Tokyo dome of some sorts. They're living sheltered lives somewhere in a new Tokyo that was built in a giant shelter dome. You're just living your daily life, eating breakfast. Your mother's there. Your best friends came by, and you're more or less having a regular day. Walking to school, sirens go off. Apparently, it's some drill. You got to go to shelter, go there. Yada yada yada. Stuff happens. Random dog. You chase dog. Go to a school. Find dog. Dog turns into some marketable plushie mascot thing, who's suddenly an old man telling you, "You've been recruited, kid. You're being accepted to my academy. Yada yada yada. Take this knife. Stab yourself." What?
Sounds reasonable.
I'm not gonna stab myself. I need to find my friend. Runs away, hears screaming, finds friend being chased by a random creature. Oh no, let's do the simple thing. Run the hell away. So sirens are going off now, and apparently it's not a drill anymore. And now the Tokyo Dome's being attacked by all these creatures. All right, how fun is that? Shenanigans happen. You're trying to run away. Bridge you're running across breaks, falls down. You're now on the ground. Your friend's now surrounded by monsters. Marketable plushie shows up. Hey kid, your friend's gonna die.
You stab yourself.
You want to do something about it? And he's just like, and then the game gives you your first choice, which is a wild choice of stab yourself or do nothing. I very much wanted to do the do nothing and see what happened.
I would have expected you to have done nothing, Zach.
That's what I thought you would have done.
But I went, I don't feel like re-going through all these cutscenes, so I'll do that
fair.
on a second playthrough.
That's fair.
So take sword from marketable plushie, stab self. Like straight up just Attack on Titan pledge thing.
I like how the implication is he just says stab yourself and not where.
No, he does. Oh no, he does actually say stab yourself in the heart.
Okay, I was gonna say because the funny thing would be it's like I need to stab myself, yeah, and then you just fall over and you're dead.
But no, he does actually say stab yourself in the heart. Which then starts because the saber is apparently a transformation device. This start up your Hino Anima transformation. So we have a blood magical girl style transformation of him being in like some area full of blood. Gives him a nice black disciplinary uniform. Gets a nice little shoulder badge. He's now got a gaping hole where you can see some like spirit thing in his heart, where his heart's supposed to be, and his hair, which was already red, is now redder, and he now has he has like a cavalry style saber now.
I hate that I can if I saw the picture, it would probably be exactly what I think it is from the stupid description.
Pretty much. And more or less, it has this whole... And by the way, it does the transformation thing at the beginning of every battle, mind you. Oh, you can skip it.
But why would you?
So you're in this whole blood. He spits out a bunch of bubbles, and now he's his, anima self. Which doesn't really explain it, but the marketable plushie's just like, all right, you got powers now, kid. Let's do this.
Have fun.
Go kill those things. You do your whole thing. You kill the creatures. It does your tutorial thing. He's helping his friend. He's like, congrats, kid. You passed the entry exam with flying colors. You're now fully in this academy. Let's go. It's like, no, I got to get somewhere. I got to take her somewhere safe. Gets yoinked out of existence and some bright ass light. Next thing he knows, he wakes up in a school with 9 other kids. and they're in a classroom. Very heavily reminiscent of Danganronpa with the whole futuristic style rather than classic school style,
Hmm.
and then leads to the natural thing of everyone going, "Where are we? What's going on?"
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Standard to the Despair games. If you're not a fan of tropes, probably don't play this because every single character is just one big ass trope, each one encompassing one. Um, yeah, so the initial stuff like that, marketable plushie shows back up, telling them, "Hey, you've all been enlisted. This is our last Academy of Defense." There's a giant purple flame that we just call the Immortal Flame, encompassing the entirety world. He opens up the windows, just walls of flame. Don't go into it. It doesn't burn anything non-living, but anything living, yeah, you're good as dead. You're gonna get cooked. Um, yeah, and that more or less sets up the whole thing. We have our they randomly get attacked, so naturally, MC has internal strife of, do I fight? Do I want to fight? Should I fight? Characters choose to fight, others cower, yada yada yada, trope crap. Um, yeah, and then you go into your first fight outside of that, where you're now defending this academy, and the marketable plush being vague as all can be. I mean, overall, it's a standard tactics game with visual novel aspect. Um, I do enjoy the tactics style itself because you have AP at the beginning of your turn, one for each character. And so far, I've maxed out at a party of 5. Um, System is you can use as much AP as you want on each character, but once you're out of AP, it ends your turn. You can save the AP, which carries over to the next turn if you want to do a build-up turn. Each character has their own play style. MC, he is a very good wave clear character. He has a lot of widespread attacks and can murder many things that are low health. The other initial characters you have your punk gangster guy who he gets a baseball bat and a motorcycle for his transformation weapon.
I would have expected nothing less.
And it's super as yeah. His whole kit is the further he moves, he gains shields. He has a lot of just immediately around him AoE attacks, like one square base where he can hit a lot of things at once. He's more or less there to go forward, build up shield, and take the brunt of the damage. Because based on how the enemy team work, or at least they just move to the closest enemy and attack whoever they're next to. So it's a very predictable thing of you can draw them to specific people or whatnot. Outside of defense battles, because in defense battles, they're trying to destroy your school's generator to take out the shield and murder everybody. You then have the crazy goth chick who really wants this whole situation to be a, hey, we're gonna murder each other game. Can we just murder each other? She even has a line of where, oh man, we're not gonna murder each other. Well, them versus us isn't too bad either. Let's go kill them. She's a mid-range character who I haven't got into her whole story, but she herself has a like a butcher's knife, but she also, for some reason, doesn't explain it other than Hino Anima. She has mystical portals behind her with other hands in it that will just throw knives at people for her. So that's her whole thing, is she slashes, knives come into the air and get thrown at people. She's also a good AoE wave clear. Then we have Miss I'm strict and disciplined, smarter and stronger than all of you, but I'm actually sort of a freak behind the scenes. Yeah, it's a thing.
It makes sense.
Where she has a giant battle axe, and she's the only character with a max skill plus a second skill, because everyone starts with one attack skill, then the base, what everyone has is a defense, which lets you defend, gives you 3 armor, and prevents you from getting some physical ailments, and then just a move action. And her whole thing is whenever she murders something, her next attack does more damage, and she can stack it up to 3 times. Crazy Goth Girl's whole thing is she ignores the fatigue system, because whenever people move and attack or do any kind of action, they become fatigued, and they can now only move one space either in any direction if they're going to do another attack. Where she ignores that, in which when she goes into a fatigue, her attack has a different effect, and then also brings her out of fatigue. So she rotates between what her skills do between fatigued and non-fatigued. And then the fifth character you get after the first week of stuff that you can play through for the demo, he is sort of a mid-range clear because he has a scythe. So yeah, and more or less so far the game has been them going, how can we escape? How do we get back to the dome? People having internal conflicts, yada, yada, yada. As I said, every character is a trope because we have our sort of tan girl who's a mechanic, our poor kid who hates poverty and thinks anyone who talks to him is making fun of him because he's poor and wants to fight him. Our super defeated kid who has no self-esteem. He calls himself an insect, believes he isn't worth anything. They even jokes like, oh, so everyone to get here had to stab themselves and kill those things. He's like, I didn't. And the mascot, whose name is Saray, goes, he's just like, yeah, Saray stabbed me and I just blacked out. And we're like, oh, cool. You have the fraternal twins who, the girl, she's just trying to live her best life and whatnot. And then you have the brother who is a syscon, so he's just like,
I would have taken any bet that this was going to be the dynamic. I would have put any amount of money down that you were about to say that that was the dynamic.
As I said, hard tropes, Matt. He really doesn't care about the situation. From what I've gleaned, they apparently were poor and were just getting by. Their parents are thin air. And he's just like, he's more or less vibing. He's just like, as long as nothing endangers my sister, I don't care. Y'all can go fight. We're not fighting. That puts my sister in danger. And I'm not going to put her in danger, so we're just going to stay here. We have the Yankee. Japanese Yankee, not Northern Yankee. Chick who's thinks she's above everyone, but she's a bit of a freak. Sickly Boy, who's the fifth character you get, he's very smart, but he was apparently hospitalized the entire time, so he's also very socially awkward. And now that he's opened up to my character, he says very cringy lines to the point the goth girl was just like, oh God, not the power of friendship. Somebody murder me.
At least it's self-aware.
Yeah, it's very
At
self-aware.
least it's self-aware. So basically, it's checking every trope in the book.
Yes, and I'm missing 5 characters at the very minimum.
And you got to keep in mind, this is also a game that can go to like 120 hours, has 100 different endings. I mean, you're going to hit a lot of tropes.
And from my understanding is, for each run, you pretty much go through the 100 days.
Okay.
I haven't hit another significant choice besides the stab yourself or do nothing. There is a couple other mechanics of just, there is an exploration where you go out and explore the outer world, because they do have these special fire extinguishers, solely 2, that can temporarily extinguish a part of the immortal flames to be able to go and explore and collect stuff so you can level in your weapons and whatnot. There's the free time where you can either go explore, which takes up the whole day, or you can interact with your squad mates who are currently willing to fight, which raises your academics and allows you to upgrade skills as well as things like that. Then yeah, the overall dialogue. And then with the first sort of boss fight, this is an interesting mechanic, which I thought was entertaining. Where you find out this hottie chick's a bit of a freak. Whenever you win a defensive battle or a significant defensive battle with a boss, you then have execution time, in which the boss you've just defeated, you get to choose one of your team members to execute them, and then they get a boost up in stats, because our main enemies, as we discover, they can also apparently use something close to Hino Anima, which turns them into monsters. And when you murder them like that, you get their powers. You get their anima. And it's a whole thing because anyone who's played the Danganronpa series, the whole execution sequences would know. It's a whole thing where like straight up chick, she goes up to him with a knife, stabs, pulls it, blood just spurts out, and it's just raining blood. It's just enjoying it.
Enjoying the bloodbath.
Yeah. And also the whole other thing setting is like they're here at this academy because apparently they're the last defense, and there's something very important inside the academy that they haven't explained. And it's just like, yeah, no, we got to protect this.
Mhm.
Otherwise, all of humanity is dead.
Hmm.
And it's also inside the school in a specific room where this is the only point in the room where the immortal flames is also blocking the door.
Mhm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. So let me ask you a question. Besides, people who just like enjoy Danganronpa, like, can you give some examples of like, hey, if you enjoy this game or this game, you would probably enjoy this.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
standardly, besides the whole it's a despair game mentality thing. I mean, if you like tactics games, so far the tactics is very solid. The core mechanics of it is actually very interesting in terms of resource management at the single pull of AP for your set of characters. The actually simplistic movement of the enemies, besides the bosses who have some change, which that's just normal with these types of tactic games of where boss movements are slightly different from regular enemies. Of just being able to actively plan your moves and attacks, fully knowing where the enemies are going to go, so you can either position yourself or send out someone in the whole thing. Forgot to mention, it is a mechanic in the game to get your team killed. So they can't die. They are immortal in terms of if they're in Hino Anima, a flying coffin will come pick them up and bring them back to the school, which revives them. So they're, as it stands, in core mechanic, there is no permadeath. You can kill them as much as you want. You actually get bonus points if you get your people killed. When they're in critical health, they can actually use a special attack, which is just a slightly enhanced version of their ultimate attack, which they can use and then die. So it is a mechanic. So in terms of that, of freely using your team as pawns in terms of, hey, this person's weak, so they're probably not going to survive this fight, so I'll put them here so they'll get attacked, so I can use their death attack to help clear and manage stuff. Pretty much all the battles besides the exploration ones are done in waves. So anything that you have done from wave 1, like extra AP from previous turn, the voltage gates that let you use your ultimate skills and whatnot will actually carry over to the next wave. So you can plan ahead like that. If you think the next wave is possibly going to be a boss or just more enemies or whatnot, to make that's next wave a quick clear or be able to deal with whatever you think is going to happen. The vision novel aspect of, like I mentioned to John earlier, gives very hard, like similar Digimon Survive vibes. So if you like Digimon Survive, you
I was
will
gonna
give this
ask.
chance like this.
I was gonna ask, like, what would you say is like the ratio of like the visual novel, like daily activity
Mhm.
stuff versus battles?
That's a good question.
So,
It's like Digimon Survive was very much like 95.5, which I love, by the way.
so for this, because it's definitely not as handholdy as Digimon Survive, more or less after the initial setup and stuff going by, besides main story parts, I would probably say it's more like 65, 35, 65 being visual novel, 35 being gameplay.
Okay,
Be-
because I feel like that's a pretty good balance for it.
Yeah,
Like,
because
in my opinion.
because during the main stuff, of course, you have the visual novel. Then, as it stands so far where I am, they more or less have a meeting every morning, which is a small visual novel point of it pushing the story forward and whatnot and everything. And then after the initial events, the first defense battle and whatnot, and then just of them exploring the school to learn the things you can do, because there's also a VR training thing where you can farm points and whatnot, yada yada. Pretty much like 5 out of the 7 days of the week is free time where you can either do training, raise your stats, or go exploring.
Mhm.
So, and that's within the first week. That because no, that was more in the second week. The first week, I mean, I think it probably uses like 3 days for story setting and whatnot, and then like the next 4,
Mhm.
or no, 4 days for story setting stuff, then 3 free. Then it balances out more free time for the next week after that. So I mean, it's a pretty good mix.
Nice, nice. No, I want to get this. I mean, like again, since it came out the same day as Expedition 33, it was a back burner for me. But it's still one that I do want to pick up. I actually didn't know there was a demo. So that is something I'm gonna have to go take a look at. Is actually try to check out the demo.
I said the demo is the initial prologue plus the first 7 days. So
Right.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is
I'm
the
gonna-
demo on Switch? Because that's what I wanted to get the
Probably.
game for.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about buying it for Switch. I mean, when I get home, I'm probably gonna download the demo on Steam and play through that. And if I enjoy it, I'll play it. I'm gonna if I enjoy it, I'm gonna buy the game. It's just a matter of if I buy it on Steam or if I buy it on Switch.
in which I can very see much how it plays on Switch, because with on PC, you actually never have to use a mouse. You can solely just do keyboard.
It seemed like, because I saw, I mean, just based off like the little videos they show on the store page, it looked like you could play. It looked like you could play with just keyboard or controller or something.
Yeah, because even when it's like explaining the controls, it never ever mentions the mouse. It solely wants you to use WASD, spacebar, and then IJKL.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw a Reddit thread of someone talking about the demo on Switch. So yeah, I'm gonna download on Switch because that's what I wanted to get it for. I wanted to pick it up physically for Switch. I think it has a physical copy.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
Okay,
You could. It has a special edition.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, because this is one that I really wanted to check out. It's just timing wise, Expedition 33 didn't work out for me. But no, I do want to play it because I thought it looked pretty interesting when the game was initially revealed. But then after seeing like some first full reviews of the game before it came out, where they were just talking about all the ending potential and just like how long the game is, I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like something up my alley.
Yeah. Okay, I think one of the reviews I saw, somebody was like, I've got 79 out of 100 endings, and they had like 85 hours in the game.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I would assume, because I mean, you can make multiple saves, so you can probably save and just keep saves if you don't want to do
Yeah.
a full playthrough each time,
Yep.
unless there's just some reason to do a new game plus, which
Right.
there probably is some incentive. But
I would assume that there's something there, like maybe if you do New Game Plus, like some of the like early cutscene stuff, you can just skip through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can skip through it initially, John. You don't have to watch any cutscene.
I mean, you gotta watch cutscenes. You gotta watch them first time.
Aren't you the one who said you just skip cutscenes in some games?
He was the one that said that. Yeah, he's like, if a game gives me that option, I will
I'm-
always think about hitting the button. is
I'm
what he
always
said.
tempted, but it depends on the game.
Yeah, what John said is if that option's there, he will always be tempted to hit it. Shout out. But no, this game does look sick though, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm gonna probably go download the demo tonight and probably try to play that sometime soon.
And demo does carry over to the full game.
Oh, even better.
I only had one hiccup with that because apparently it's a Steam thing. Apparently on Steam, if you're playing it on PC, it doesn't always register the save game file from the demo to the main game. So you actually have to physically transfer it yourself manually.
Hmm.
And your files, just because it's in a folder that says the 100-Line Academy demo
that makes
versus
sense.
the 100-Line Academy.
That makes sense. That makes
And I was like,
sense.
this is dumb, guys.
That is stupid.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. That does make sense. That's dumb as hell, but that does make sense. That's unfortunate.
So because I played through the demo, then I bought the game, and I loaded the game. Was like, where's my continue button? And whatnot. It took me like 5 minutes for me to try and search, see if anyone said anything. No one said anything. I was finally just like, is it literally just game file stuff? And I finally found a /r Reddit where it's like, yeah, no, I just had to move my save. I was like, God damn it.
That's stupid. Oh, jeez.
Then someone else in that same /r is like, Oh, it was seamless on my Steam Deck. I was like, all right, cool.
Good to know.
That's what I was thinking about, getting it and playing it on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
So then you should have no issue then.
So you'll be in good shape then. That's what we want to hear. You guys got anything you guys want to shout out or talk about before we go through the rest of the weekly wrap up? God, why am I getting my words twisted so much right now?
Game I've talked about previously a fair number of times. Stolen Realm, getting an update.
Nice.
I think it's getting a DLC update. I think this week. So it's interesting. I might end up checking it out. I like Stolen Realm. It's a fun game to play every now and then. It's a good co-op
Nice.
game.
Nice. Zach, you got anything?
Nope.
I guess the other thing to shout out is, of course, tomorrow is the launch of the early access for Fantasy Life I, A Girl Who Steals Time. And my wife cannot focus on anything but the fact that early access starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, I do got something. Speaking of your girlfriend, does she still playing Infinite Nikki?
She has not touched that in a hot minute.
Okay, because it finally came to Steam, but apparently 1.5 apparently completely changed the game, and the community's been sort of up in arms about it. Because apparently 1.5 completely changed the beginning of the game and a bunch of other stuff, and made a lot of the Infinite Nikki fans very, very angry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, she has not touched
You
that
gonna
in
check
forever.
that out for a sec?
I mean, I was until I saw the 1.5 stuff. I legitimately was.
I looked at it.
And then I saw everyone talking about the 1.5. I went, all right, they need to fix their shit.
Yeah, no. Once Monster Hunter came out, that got permanently put on the back burner for her, and that's all she was playing on her PlayStation for a while was Monster Hunter Wilds.
Well, she may be in for a sad surprise.
Yeah. But no, she has a Fantasy Life I Deluxe Edition ready to go for early access tomorrow, 10 a.m. our time, and that is all she's gonna be playing all week.
I would make sure I hadn't shouted out my game of the week, and I just saw what yours was, the freaking Crocs one. I was like the random one that you did.
Croc Legend of Gavos.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Played that when I was a kid at my uncle's house. Shout out to the story that I shared for that. It's really touched my heart, so I feel it. I will also say for Fantasy Life, I've been very advised, is a way to put it, that I must give that game a 10 next Saturday. So I'm just giving you guys the heads up.
If not, does that mean we're going to be losing a host?
That
It's
means
possible.
No, what that means is you have to also play it so you can give her rating and then your rating.
I feel like
You have to.
I feel like if I give anything but a 10 for my rating, I'm
No.
gonna get shot.
No, that's why I'm saying you give her rating and then your rating. That's how this works.
I've been advised by my lawyers that I've got to give a 10 on that game. So, spoiler alert, Fantasy Life I is a 10. I did see the first review for it did come out, though, and it was actually really good. It was Famitsu had their review, and they got 9s across the board, so 36 out of 40. Because of that, I keep fucking with her, where it's just like, hey, it didn't score as high as Sonic Forces, so just keep that in mind. Because for whatever reason, Famitsu thought Sonic Forces was a good game and gave it like a 37 or a 38. Out of whatever. But no, the first review for Fantasy Life was really positive. So, and what my wife's afraid of right now is she's afraid this game is about to like have like an Animal Crossing situation,
Okay.
where it's gonna pop off and be great, which is good for the game, obviously. But then there's gonna be all these people that are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, I love Fantasy Life," but it's like, and
No clue about the other one.
exactly. And Christina was bitching about it earlier. She's like, "Where were y'all? I've been in the trenches for 11 years. Where have y'all been?" I'm just like, that's bad. That might actually happen for this game. We were watching some gameplay videos the other day for it. The context that I have it looks good. A lot of improvements.
I mean,
from
y'all
the
have a
original.
copy. I mean, I assume she has a copy of Fantasy Life.
She's got 2 copies.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got 2 copies. She does. I will be trying Fantasy Life with her because I know for like the Switch version, there's going to be game sharing with it.
Okay.
So we can do game share with it and stuff like that. She had such an aggressive dilemma on what to buy it for because she originally pre-ordered for Switch. which Nintendo didn't take the money out because that's just how Nintendo pre-orders work.
Yeah.
So whatever. Switch was the only one that did not have early access.
Oof.
And she didn't know about the early access till I told her. So then she had to debate, does she get it for Steam or PlayStation? And then when it came for the Steam, it was not optimized for Steam decks. It's like, well, I guess I'm getting it for PlayStation. And then she's like, I really want it for Switch though. I'm just like, well, they might have a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. And literally the next day, Level 5's like, by the way, there's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. I'm like, see, it worked out. Now you can wait for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. It'll be fine. It'll be great. So anyway, let's start going through the weekly wrap up, boys. Yeah, the first thing I've got, Persona 5, the Phantom X, finally got a release date for it. June 26th for Steam and mobile. Looking forward to it. Gonna be playing it. Ready to go.
Are you gonna wail?
Buddy, you know me. Buddy, you know me. I probably will.
You don't. He doesn't even play the tutorial. He just goes straight to the shop.
Let's go.
That
Shop,
is the
baby.
tutorial, Zach.
For me, it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Quickly, tell me, how do I charge my car?
Yeah, tell me the fastest way possible. I am excited for this. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait.
All I'm curious about with it is, are they going to go the Fate Go route, and there's going to be a Chinese server and a EN server, so we're like behind content, but we get the content released in the same way that they did?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they just going to quickly catch us up to the Chinese?
Ooh, that's a great question. They had that live stream. Did you watch it? Because I didn't.
They had a live stream?
Yeah, that's
Well,
what.
damn. Okay, I got to watch it then.
Okay, well, maybe the live stream explained how the content would work. 'Cause
Because-
I didn't see that.
Because, I mean, if they're going to catch us up real quick, that's going to be like a lot of content very
Yeah.
quickly.
Right.
Or if they just release it all at once and then we get bannered. So, I mean, for people who are whales, goodbye to your wallet.
Me.
Because, I mean, I'm actually fine with the FGO way because, I mean, FGO does it very well
Mm-hmm.
because you would literally get all the limited edition stuff that came out with each patch and release. So,
Mhm.
all I know is I'm waiting for the granny because I want to roll with the granny.
You and a lot of people, brother.
The grandma's a badass.
You and a lot of people, brother. I've seen a lot of people say the same thing that you've said for a long time.
She's a badass.
I have seen that comment more times than I can count on Twitter, my friend. Oh no, I'm excited though. Persona 5, the Phantom X, though, June 26th, Steam and mobile. You can pre-register now on your phone and go ahead and get it set up for Steam as well. So looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good time. Hey, we did get some more Digimon trailers for Digimon Story Time Stranger. These are just quick little Digimon trailers showcasing how pretty they look. It's nothing fancy. Beelzemon, that took place, I think, like last week. Bearmon, Magnamon, which the only new one there would be Bearmon, which we already knew that he was going to be in the game with the Bear Brothers. We got Omnimon one, Mercurymon, who is the leader of Central Town. But the one that I was excited about was Halstamon, which is the armored form for Hawkmon, further delivering what we've already seen, that it looks like all the armored evolutions are going to be in the game, which is sick. I hope it is actually all of them and not just like the main ones, because with last couple games we had Magnamon because he's one of the legendary warriors, whatever. One of the knights, I mean. And then we had, I think, Flamedramon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
I
got
think that was
access-
it.
Well, the problem with the last games were like by the time you got access to them, you couldn't hardly use them.
Yeah. So we've already seen Pegasusmon, which is Patamons. We saw Seraphimon, not Seraphimon, whatever Godamon's is. I forgot her name. And now Halsamon. I imagine we'll probably see Digmon soon. Now are we just going to see like the other ones of Vmon, Armadillomon, and Hawkmon? I hope
Probably.
so. I would assume so. Because I can't remember his name, but the Shinobi one, cool as shit. I want that one.
I assume we will, just because they've already said in this game that we're gonna have. This is basically we're bringing everything.
Yeah,
It's
bringing
like,
the big guns.
Have fun.
Yeah.
We had to dig some out. We didn't even remember releasing these ones.
Right. So, no, I'm pretty pumped for it. I'm glad to see the armored evolutions are in the game. Now, the last thing for me that I'm hoping for, as I've said before, is give me all the legendary warriors. All right? Give me all the legendary warriors, damn it. That's what I want now. Last game we had, Gunimon, Burning Greymon, and Emperor Greymon, as well as Lobomon, Kendo Garurumon, and Magna Garurumon. We had those, and Susunamon. That's cool. Give me Beetlemon, give me Kazumon, Kumamon, give me all of them. They're beast forms. I want the other ones too. Give them all, baby. Let's go. Next thing we've got is Tribe 9. already shutting down.
Yep.
November 27th. Very unfortunate. I saw someone talk about this where it's just like they feel like this game was failed just because of really out of touch, like I guess like investors and project leaders.
Yeah.
Would you say that could be accurate here? The fact that it's already shut in, because this person personally said I would have gladly spent $60 and just bought this game versus it just being the free to play method and how they went. Like, what was your thoughts on seeing it getting shut down?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily surprised about it because I saw it whenever it was announced. Because as a gotcha game, I mean, it was not necessarily bad, but I feel like in the gotcha community, it may have been just too awkward and too unique with just the mix of the fighting mechanics plus the weird baseball stuff.
Sure.
I feel like the other thing, because of one of the biggest pulls to it was, again, I really shouldn't remember his name. The art designer for Danganronpa and stuff was part of this, and most of the fans that are used to that are used to the I'm gonna buy the game,
Yeah.
and not necessarily I'm gonna pump money to roll for characters. But yeah, I would see that being a case of just the investors and whatnot, because this was that whole 3-part project, and again, you and me didn't even know about the second part. And then the third,
That was the webtoon, right?
yeah.
Yeah, had no clue.
And then the third part, it was a whole other thing of that changed from what it was initially supposed to be, from what it seemed to us.
Yeah. Which I think that's what also they said, is that this project just took a big turn from what it was supposed to be.
Yes,
So yeah, it's just unfortunate because it's such a unique idea.
it is.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that less than a year after release, it's already getting canned. That just tells me the player count is ungodly low.
It is.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
it's ungodly low.
It's one where
I mean,
not a. I mean, from hearing you talk about it, I can understand why they think gotcha is a good idea. Like, could have been a good idea for this, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, the way you describe the game, it's way too niche
Yes,
to
it
pull
is.
in a gotcha audience. It's like there's a reason why, like, the big gotcha games out there are like more successful. It's like they're easily accessible and they're like easy to get into and fun to play.
Yeah, and
Not
I mean,
awkward as hell.
and the other thing with this is just like, for a gotcha game, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of in-game content for waiting for the next chapter and patch. I mean, we could play the extreme baseball against other people, but that was more or less just setting up a team and then rolling the dice, because all that happens more or less by itself for the most part. And I mean, they had a few interesting secret XB games which you could go find and fight like a mysterious team. Mysterious. And then it was just like dailies and stuff and farming, in which, if I'm being honest, farming in that game isn't very fun.
Yeah, so basically just didn't have enough for you to do waiting for stuff, which
Yeah.
that's going to be a detrimental to the game.
Yes.
So unfortunate, because like I said, unique idea, unique property, just poor execution. Next thing I've got the big boss of Tekken, Katsuhiro Harada.
I loved it.
He wants to make a Waffle House level.
He's fully embraced the community and be like, all right, let's get a Waffle House, I guess.
Yep, he wants to make a Waffle House level, but he can't get Waffle House on board. Don't think he's going to get Waffle House on board, because I don't think Waffle House likes to be known as the place people go to get in fights.
No, they
don't. I don't think this is going to happen.
I mean,
but I'm glad he's acknowledging it.
And from more or less from what some of the other stuff is, unless it's changed within the last day or two, from other stuff I read about that, is Mike Harada and his team have reached out to Waffle House and just not received a response.
Yep, that is correct. Which I think it's hilarious that he's asking Waffle House, "Yo, can I use Waffle House to make a level in Tekken?"
And this is just Harada being the things like, well, the fans want it. Okay, fans, I'm giving it a shot.
I'm trying.
If something comes of it, sure. If not, oh well.
I mean, there's a level of like listening to your fans. It's like, Harada, stop.
Well, he needs something, because a large majority of people weren't particularly happy about the Pac-Man level, and then another character being a Tekken 7 newbie DLC return character.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the thing isn't gonna be like, don't they'll piss everyone off and then be like, "Oh look, I called Waffle House."
But here's the duality, John. He would do that and be like, "Hey, we called Waffle House, and if for some reason we get approved, we're then going to charge you $10 for it for just the stage."
Yeah, but I mean, also, like, just because fans have like mentioned it, don't sit there and say like, "Oh, I've contacted him. I haven't heard anything." That's just gonna make people go after Waffle House.
I mean, 'cause
That's
It's
true.
like, don't
It is.
say
That's
anything.
true.
and
That's
It's
true.
like, just don't say that you contacted him. Just be like, "Yeah, I heard you. I know what you want. Just do that."
People are going to be at the Waffle House headquarters, wherever it is, with pitchforks and torches. Like, give Harada the approval.
Harada got his mic drop moment when he announced Tekken 8, and he doesn't understand how to do it anymore.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Harada. You don't have to always try to make people, or you don't have to always tell people when you're trying to do something.
Right.
It's like you kind of just do your things behind the scenes like you used to do, and then come out for all the Tekken shows and be weird.
And then just drop the tech demo of the Waffle House stage if you get it made.
It's like if
Yeah,
it
it's like, hey, look at this.
if it happened, it would be like you'd just be at Evo and he'd just turn around, point his screen, and go, "I mean, you guys wanted it."
I heard you.
It would just be Law cooking in the back, and then like Paul or somebody comes in.
But yeah, no, I will say, I mean, not to. I was trying to move on. If you're,
Oh no, yeah.
I was gonna say this next thing.
Yeah, all you.
I
read it.
am very happy to see this because it's per Nexon. First Berserker Kazan, in a sales perspective, is a disappointment because it did not sell as many copies as they wanted it to. But they still view First Berserker Kazan as a success because it's made people care about the franchise, which I'm totally down with because I absolutely love First Berserker Kazan. It's one of my favorite games this year.
I'm totally fine with too because I mean, Dungeon Fighter. I mean, it's still wild to me that this is the IP they chose to run with to expand with, but it's still. I'm still happy that one of their IPs they took and are expanding with, and it is seeing some success.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the success they initially fully expected. But
yeah, it's very nice to see a company go, "Hey, we tried something with a property that nobody really, or like most people don't care about, and yeah, it didn't sell like we wanted it to, but it got eyes on it, and that was the goal. So this is not a failure."
Which the first Berserker Song is definitely something I wanted to see after, because DNF is just a free MMO game out there where you literally just go fight through dungeons. Then we got DNF Duel, which was the fighter game, which was like, yeah, that's a nice progress. And now we're actually getting expansions on our character stories of the different classes and whatnot, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So that news, I saw that news, or like I saw the articles coming out for it. Very happy to see that because a lot of times the game doesn't make sales numbers. They just you just shut down everything to do with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're like, I mean, we hoped it would sell better, but at the end of the day, we wanted people to care, and now they care.
Yeah. Because like the way they're looking at it is they're looking at it from the perspective of it was reviewed very well. The players love it. We're getting eyes on this. It's like, like you just said, a lot of studios, they can have a successful game in terms of review scores and stuff and just be like, well, it didn't sell well, so it's shut down. We're not going forward with it, whatever. We see that all the time.
Yeah.
So like you guys are saying, it's like, this is great for the property because like people are giving a shit now. So that like, so what Nexon's going to plan for is like, okay, hopefully whatever the next one is, that's going to sell just a little bit better than Kazan because like we're still getting eyes on this, right?
And I mean, and with Kazan, they now have a backing and trust of people like they can release a good game.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You also got to keep in mind this could just be a game that just goes up and sells over time too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
This is also what we're like Zach said. It's like they made a good game. So you know what happens when they announce their next game for DNF? I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Because I love Kazan.
Yeah.
And then if that one does good, the people who jumped on with that one go like, didn't they have another one? And thus the cycle continues.
Right. You're gonna keep on kicking the can down the road. We're saying,
And
oh
again-
yeah, because like let's say two characters from now, right? That's someone's first game, and they love it like John loves Kazan. Then they're gonna be like, oh, let me go check out these other ones too.
And the thing is, DNF has been around for I want to say 2 decades.
Mm-hmm. So lots of potential there. So I am when I saw this, I knew you were gonna love it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because I was
had
just like, I'm
seen-
glad Nexon's taking a positive approach to it. Like, what are the positives here?
And then I mean, not to just as a side note, because you mentioned like review scores. Did you see the thing with the Ori devs?
Mm-mm.
Apparently, I guess they made another game. I don't remember what it's called, but it was getting review bombed. So they responded to it. They're like, "Will you stop review bombing it? Because if they see a bunch of negative reviews come out for this, we might not be around."
Oh, no, I did
Damn.
not see that.
But
I'm
then,
gonna
but
have to
then
look into that.
basically they came like, I guess like, is it Square behind them?
I want to say yes.
I think it's Square
Could
behind
be.
them. Basically, I think someone came out and was like, "They're not going anywhere." It's like they're overreacting.
Right.
I mean, it's still
Somebody,
sort of
somebody in charge basically showed up and was like, "These guys are overreacting."
Right. It's like they're fine. Don't worry about it.
No, but I missed that the War developers came out with something new.
Yeah, I
I
missed it
think
too.
it was them.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's interesting. I wonder what the game was that got review bombed and why it got review bombed.
I'm
So,
also wondering why I missed it.
yeah, I'm gonna have to. That didn't pop up in my timeline, so I'm gonna have to go take a look at that. Next thing I've got is Arrowhead Studios, which is Helldivers. Their next game they've said is going to be fully self-funded. The quote is, "The next game is 100% funded by ourselves, so we'll call 100% of those shots." PlayStation is great. There would be no Helldivers if it wasn't for them. We're open to working with them again in the future. So shout out to that. I feel like the wording of "we'll call 100% of the shots" is very interesting. I think that is a very interesting little tidbit to throw in there. Especially with the context of everything else that's been going on with PlayStation. But I don't know. Shout out to Airhead Studios.
No rest for the wicked.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that game. I've heard of that game.
I think that was what was getting review bombed.
Okay, I remember now that you say that name. I remember seeing it somewhere.
But yeah, no, it's like that's one that that popped up in my timeline this past week.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that came out last year. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No rest for the wicked. Yeah, I've seen this game. Anyway. Next thing. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope. There's a report and a rumor going around right now. A lot of sources are reporting on this though. Red Dead Redemption 2 will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 later this year, along with a current gen update of Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. I'll believe it when I see it. It needs it. Should have already happened. It's a top 10 selling game in video game history. Should have already done it.
But all the team had to work on Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, I know. And then on top of this, there's also a report that like a remastered of GTA 4 is going to come out this year too. So this
now would be a good time.
Yeah, this is just like going to be the year for Rockstar to put
as
out
long as they got the right
like
studio to do it this time.
Yeah, no shit. But no, with the Red Dead thing, don't give me hope. That's all I got to say. I'm tired of hoping for it.
I'm not going to hope unless they tell me I'm going to get a Red Dead Revolver update.
Oh my God, good luck on that one, buddy. Shout out to Red Dead Revolver. Next thing I've got is the Pokemon Scarlet Violet Nintendo Switch 2 free update is confirmed for Switch 2 launch day. And there was side-by-side visuals that were posted. I mean, in terms of the graphics, there is a noticeable upgrade in terms of like the coloring and the shading.
Okay.
But the biggest noticeable upgrade is like so many more Pokemon spawn.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, that's great for the Nintendo Switch 2, but what about for the Switch?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we care about. That's what you told us you're gonna fix.
Yep, and they ain't fixing it. You getting that Switch 2 patch and you're gonna like it. So, I mean, at least it's getting fixed in some capacity, I guess.
Just not in the way they promised.
Yep. Nintendo sends a cease and desist to a Smash Brothers dating app called Smash Together. I saw this and I had to do a double check. I'm like, did I read that right? I did. Okay. It was apparently about to launch its beta, and that's when Nintendo hit them with the cease and desist.
What was this dating app?
For like-minded people who enjoy Smash Brothers and they just want to meet some other people and mingle with them. That is what the app is for. So if you love Smash Brothers and you want to meet your soulmate in Smash and Smash together, this app was going to be your place, but it's shut down now.
Location, age, gender, main, I guess.
Yeah. It probably would ask for your main, honestly. Geez.
I'm not looking at them. They made Mewtwo.
Oh God, that'd be great. Jesus. Next Mario movie seems to be called Super Mario World. Makes sense. It was a part of a article from God, I think it was Universal Studios with various projects they have coming out, and they did drop Super Mario World in the article, and I think since then the article has been updated. So makes sense that'd be the title, but just giving that heads up there. Ubisoft plans to reduce costs by another $110 million over the next 2 years. So that probably means more layoffs are coming. So when all of that that transition happened not long ago, where Ubisoft, I think it was what, Tencent, they had like that merging thing where that new subsidiary is going to be like the home of all the big dogs. There was a lot of devs that were vocalizing like, basically, if you're not part of the big three, your job could be screwed. And seeing this news come out this week, that's probably going to be the case. If you're not on a team for the big three, you're probably screwed. Good luck.
I would argue Ubisoft doesn't have a big three.
I would also argue that in today's age, but you know what I mean. Ubisoft also says Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake will launch by March 2026. Oh, buddy, yeah. I'll believe that when I see it too.
Yeah, that's a way to make money.
Yep. I mean, I'll get it for personal reasons.
I mean,
but
yeah, but this is gonna be Ubisoft. This thing doesn't make $100 million. They're gonna call it a failure and fire more people.
Facts. Kojima recently said in an interview that he's left his staff a USB stick with game ideas to use after he dies. I appreciate the thought, Kojima, but don't be putting them vibes out into the world, brother. I also saw where he was talking about Death Stranding 2, because it has gone gold, is coming out here soon, next month and everything. And this psychotic bastard, I swear to God, I love this guy. He talked about when Death Stranding was initially being play tested, right? And the play testers were calling it a terrible game.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
With Death Stranding 2, that's not the case. And he said he's disappointed. That's not the. What do you mean you're disappointed they're not calling it a terrible game?
It's probably because I can only assume it's because people are playing this one and they probably he's not seeing the same response to it. So he may be disappointed because he may have gone too far off the mark of to not make it as close to the first game.
That's fair. Because he is very adamant on what Death Stranding is. He is dead on about it.
Or he's just mad because he feels like his game is too mainstream.
Yeah, right.
There's going to be nothing mainstream about Death Stranding 2.
People liked it. That's enough for him to consider it mainstream.
It's going to be a Game of the Year nominee. We'll just go ahead and lock it up.
There's too many good games for Jeff to knock that in there.
There's not enough games for Jeff not to knock 2 out for it.
Listen.
Hey, there's too much going on this year. Believe me, Kojima's going to get a 10 or 15 minute segment on the stage.
100%.
For that, that's good enough. We don't need something that doesn't need to be in gaming.
Next thing I've got is Level 5 has shut down the subsidiary company Level 5 Concept, which hosted the original development of Fantasy Life I before Level 5 just took it over themselves. For a little bit more context, my wife, she was actually initially disappointed with some of the earlier gameplay of Fantasy Life that was being revealed like last year before, whatever, because it just didn't feel like Fantasy Life. Feel like it was just really straying off and doing its own weird thing. And apparently Level 5 agreed, and they took over the development, kind of like a Nintendo said, Bandai, no thanks, buddy. You're Prime 4 dead. Whoever it is, you're taking it back. It was essentially one of those situations. And when I saw this article, apparently everyone is super pumped this happened. Because apparently this subsidiary also developed some other Level 5 games that are dog shit. So shout out, I guess. Square Enix announced a 3-year reboot plan with a focus on multi-platform development. They are shifting from quantity to quality. Thank God on that front. Games managed under a single umbrella for better organization, and Switch 2 is important to their strategy. So a couple things. One, I feel like them being disappointed with some PlayStation 5 exclusive sales played into this. And two, the joke that we've made on this show before where they just take the shotgun approach and just give publishing deals to everything, that's dead. That's not happening anymore.
Yeah, because I think one of the big ones that they were disappointed by was like the Final Fantasies.
Yeah,
they had disappointing sales numbers, but it's like
Rebirth and 16.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean,
They're
but
both good games.
they're
Yeah.
both good games, but especially with like Final Fantasy VII, I have a feeling there's a lot of people out there like me who we're eventually gonna buy these games,
Yes.
Mhm.
but we're waiting on the full thing to come out.
Right.
Well, I think the other aspect is just like, on some point, is just like a lot of people may see a game and just see Square Enix published on it and just like, I mean, it'll be there. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Just not even just for the Final Fantasy VII stuff, just Square Enix publishing line on all
Yeah.
of them.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like, especially for Final Fantasy VII, it's like you release it on like, it's like you release it on console, and then we wait a year, and then we put it on PC. It's
Mhm.
like, let's just stop fucking doing that.
Right.
Just put the damn thing out there and let everyone buy it.
Yep.
Because you're gonna wait a year, but in that year you're gonna be disappointed with the sales numbers, and then you're gonna get more sales afterwards,
Mhm.
and then you're gonna be like, oh well, it actually sold pretty well. It's like, well, yeah, if you put it out there for everybody to buy, we're all gonna buy it.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I feel like the days of just seeing like these PlayStation exclusives with Square, I think that's coming to a close because they had like Square has been very vocal about 16 and Rebirth. So, I mean, shout out. I've also, with the Switch 2 thing being important to their strategy, I've seen a lot of people say that Switch 2 is about to be a third party powerhouse. I've seen a lot of people talk about that it's going to have so much dang third party
Well, it's
support.
because everybody wanted to be on the Switch, but the Switch can't run anything. So
Yeah.
now they can actually put something that'll at least, I mean,
Managed to
It'll-
take something.
it'll run it, but I mean, some of these games on the Switch too might run like previous third party games were running on Switch.
Guess what though? They still won't complain about developing on it like they did the Series S.
Oh, maybe
Oh, true.
maybe for the first year.
maybe two. I had a couple Kingdom Hearts news for you. First
Nobody
up is
cares.
I'm just, look,
That's a lie.
look, it's the bot. No one cares here,
I had
but
to
it's the
sit-
bottom of the
I
weekly
had to
wrap up
sit
for a
through
reason.
Persona 5 Mobile earlier. Now you're gonna talk fucking Kingdom Hearts? You fucking kidding me?
For anyone who missed that, just watch John's camera when we bring up Phantom X. He
God
completely tunes out.
But I've learned. Last time you guys talked about Persona, I was all the way in the corner back there.
I'm sorry, buddy. Look, that's why it's the bottom of the weekly wrap up. Okay.
I didn't
John,
say anything
we,
about your
we
stupid
could really go and I could just be like, hey, Alex, want to talk about Blue Box?
Yes, let's talk about Blue Box
Hey,
Game Studios.
Hey, we're at the end here. I'll leave.
All right, Kingdom Hearts news. The mobile game Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was canceled, which I did not think would have as much like distraught that it did, but it had a lot of distraught. And then there was also some new Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots showing visual improvements in the side-by-sides. Yeah, there's a lot of cool visual improvements, so shout out. Next thing is GTA 6 development cost is going to be crossing over $1 billion.
God dang.
It is the most expensive video game ever made.
I thought it was already over, but I thought it was like, oh, I'm probably thinking of the marketing budget.
Yeah,
'Cause
the
Yeah.
marketing budget.
With the marketing budget, I think it's projected at $2 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it is an incredibly crazy number.
I wonder what their outlook for it looks like for them to be like, this is how many we need for success.
Right.
I mean, they're looking at GTA 5 and going, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they are, and it's probably a good measuring stick, but at the same time,
Right. Which that does lead into the last couple things, which this is all last week stuff I just want to touch on real quick. So one was we did get a new GTA 6 trailer. This is after the delay. And honestly, that was probably the best thing they could have done is delay the game and then a few days later shadow drop a trailer without telling anyone because you shift the focus from, dang it, it's delayed to, wow, this looks great. So that was definitely a good move on their part. I also loved how the trailer started where when the dude came up to the main character, Jason, hey, Jason, what are you doing? He's like, oh, fixing some leaks. And I'm like, that's funny. Shout out to Rockstar. That's funny. I enjoyed that joke. But yeah, the trailer looked good. Shout out. I did also see some insiders say that the game could even get delayed again, and that this delay absolutely needed to happen. So that interesting. Gears of War Reloaded was announced, and this is a remaster of the first game, and it will be coming out on PlayStation. So now it's just waiting on Halo. Halo's it. We got Forza, we got Gears. Now we're just waiting for Halo. It's coming. We had another update with the Power World versus Nintendo situation where more of the very, very specific patents come into play. And Power World had to put out a new update where you can no longer glide on your pals and you
Yep.
have to use a glider. So Damn it, Nintendo, with your very specific patents, but whatever. And then the Midnight Walk came out, which
Yeah, I saw that.
I do want to pick this game up. It's only $40. I think it still looks great, and the reviews are pretty solid. I want to buy this game. So does John. John also wants to play this game. John, I'm going to gift it to you. I got you, buddy.
I mean, you can gift it to me. I'm pretty sure I can refund it if you gift it to me.
I'm pretty sure you can hide it away in a Steam library.
All right, you guys got anything else?
Supposedly, here's a wild thing. Apparently, EA doesn't plan to raise their game prices to $80.
I call bullshit. Yeah, Grant, I understand you got a lot of microtransactions. You're like, well, we're going to make our money there. I don't believe you, buddy. The day that we have Madden come out at $80 is the day we need to riot.
See, I saw that comment. I went, all right, EA. And then I saw someone else was like, all right, guys, maybe we've been a bit too hard on EA.
I saw that too. Who would have thought EA would be the good guys here, man? For now, I don't buy that shit.
I don't know why you're complaining. You still buy Maddens every year?
No.
Yeah. So what do you care?
I'm just saying it's.
If people want to buy the same game every year, let them buy the same game every year.
I do. I just don't. I'm not part of it anymore. Thankfully, Madden has been dookie butt cheeks for a long time, so I stopped playing it a long time ago. But College Football 26 coming out here in a couple months. We'll be playing that. So
it'll be the same thing you bought last year.
It probably will be. It's kind of frightening that I've heard almost nothing about the game and we're 2 months out.
That's because
Nothing changed.
You're gonna buy the same game that you bought last year.
Yep. I will.
And then you'll do it the next year.
Hey, it's not the exact same game. I have one new college I can play. I can play the Delaware Blue Hens. So
you're gonna
we're
play.
cooking.
You're gonna play a weekend update.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna pay.
You're damn right.
You're gonna pay $70 or $80 for a weekend update.
You're damn right I am, Bubba. But you start a new dynasty up as the Delaware Blue Hens. Let's go. Joe Flacco's alma mater. Let's have a good time. All right, let's hop to Gamestead Game of the Week. Zach, what you got?
So this week I got a sort of niche one. Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
That's funny because I see that right over here. Because of Discord. Because of the Discord activity.
Oh, yeah, because I played it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Stray Gods, the musical, is a sort of the best way for me to use is choose your own adventure.
Just realized what this game was.
Yeah. Choose your own adventure game, which it's entirely narrative, but in the pretense is that you play Grace, who has been gifted the eidolon of the last muse of Greek mythology, and pretty much her power is she's able to bring people into a world where everyone just more or less has conflicts and discussions through musical numbers. So Grace, it starts off with Grace at a finished up sort of auditions for her local band. They were looking for a new member. The rest of her band leaves. She stays behind and sings a little and meets unknowingly, the last muse of the Greek gods that live within New York City. And more or less she meets her, has a nice little singing moment with her, voiced by Ashley Jordan, or Ashley Johnson, sorry. And then leaves, only for later that evening for the messenger, Hermes, to bust into her apartment, gifting her the eidolon of the last muse, which an eidolon is the more or less physical manifestation of a Greek god's power, which gets passed on to another person, allowing for their story to continue. Thus dragging Grace into the world of they call themselves the idols in the world of the Greek gods living in modern day society, and more or less them being like, so the last muse was killed, and you now have her eidolon. You're the current person to us to suspect for killing her, and we're going to investigate, and you may, if we don't like what we found, we're going to kill you. So it ends up being Grace's journey of trying to find out what happened to the last muse to keep herself alive and interacting with the rest of the idols across New York City and different sort of things, from Apollo, Persephone, Aphrodite, Eros, Athena, just a whole slew of people, and just more or less being a point and click narrative of you going to different locations, talking to people, learning about all the different people and what's going on within the idols community, and then having your big finish of the chapter of having a musical singing battle of, with whoever you're dealing with in that chapter. Which the main interesting mechanic of it, where a lot of dialogue games have sort of like the good choice, angry choice, neutral choice, and this one, whenever based on your choices, it changes the musical number from the green, which is sort of upbeat, the blue, which is sort of your blues jazz style, slower, sort of darker music, or then the red, which is always rock. So it makes for the interactions very interesting because the scenes during the main big conversation numbers changes based on your choice. The color background is always different based on whatever your choice is. So it makes for an interesting thing of like you can choose the same style and just keep it succinct and keep, or you can change it up. So you'll have like an upbeat moment here, then some hard rock, whatnot, which really gives a very interesting atmosphere of watching the number play out, as well as just having the constant musical change up if you choose to it and everything like that. And through these, you make your choices of your story, which alter your future interactions in the next chapters or the next time you meet a character, as well as the acts themselves and whatnot. So overall, if you enjoy music, like very narrative specific games, I would highly suggest picking up Stray Gods, the role-playing musical, which also has a DLC following Orpheus.
Nice. Shout out to another Gamestead game of the week in the books. All right, boys, let's hit the music. Let's get the heck out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Let us think what's going to happen in the marathon. What's your big guess?
All right, do everything you said and more. And if you like what you saw with us here, then we do these live streams every Saturday, usually around 6 p.m. Central Time. So come check us out then.
We'll be back next week. Make sure to also check us out at our Patreon down below if you want to support us further. We'll appreciate that extra support, as well as checking out some Rogue Energy, Agent Inc., Spark3Shop.com. Join the Discord. Be a friend. Tell a friend. I don't know what all we got going on next week. Can't remember. We'll figure it out. Have a good one. Bye.